Hello, party people. Are you getting charged up over there?
I am. I'm ready to go now.
Ooh, getting your charge on in there.
It
I
tickled
hear
my
ya.
nose.
I hear you. Well, welcome in, people of the interwebs. This is the Off the Rails podcast with the Stile Boyz.
That's
right.
us.
Yeah. I just blew my microphone like sky high, and I'm sitting 10 feet away from it.
Now let's get real quiet for a little while and let everybody turn their headphones up, and then we'll just start yelling.
Yeah. So, my name is Travis.
And I'm Mitch.
And we back, baby. You don't know that we went somewhere, but we went somewhere, kind of, I guess. We kind of took a week off.
Oh, yeah.
We took a week off in a day because we like to do it like that. You know.
We're like, I remember when we started, we were like, hey, let's just shoot for Sundays. And I'm like, yeah, that'll work. I don't have anything going on Sundays. And it's like, not true.
Yeah, and then let's make Sunday the busiest day of the week ever. And then let's put a line of thunderstorms and rain showers through the state of Alabama for the entire month of July and June. And apparently Grady has the most unstable internet or power grid in the United States. Hey, ISIS, if you're going to attack our power grid, start in Grady. It's already crippled.
Yeah, it's already bad, maybe.
If the
it's
wind
already
blows,
bad.
You're ahead of the game.
It beats all I've ever seen. Again, I'm hating on the engineers because it's like, I kind of feel like if one of you guys lived here, this wouldn't be an issue.
You know, it kind of reminds me of, so I got a buddy of mine down in Greenville who has for years, lives out in the country, has had crappy internet, right? Can't get anybody to give him good service, can't get good internet out there. Head honcho with a local internet company moves pretty close to him, and guess what he now has?
Oh, yeah.
Really good internet.
Yep.
I mean, really good internet. You know, it's funny. Funny how that kind of stuff works, isn't it?
It is. And it's like, you know, I'm not trying to be a whiner and a complainer, but, you know, I do have a business to run. And yesterday, dude, it was on, off, on.
Yeah.
Off, on, off.
And you
on.
don't build cabinets Amish style. Like you have power tools to do it, right?
Yep.
Maybe could you engineer some kind of foot pedal as a backup and
I think I could pedal the table saw.
Just get Peter Rabbit over there, you know, and he can.
I'll get Joseph to pedal it
Like a sewing table.
Yeah.
Like a sewing, you know, the old sewing machine.
Oh, yeah.
Just as a backup.
That's a good idea. Save me a little bit on my power bill, too.
Yeah, and he gets a workout.
He does.
He'll be really fast.
Yeah, and tired when he goes to bed.
We might be onto something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have some stuff I can tell you about from last week, but it ain't got diddly or squat to do with building a cabinet at all. I ain't touch. Look, I refused to even throw something away while I was gone because I didn't want to open a drawer to put it in the trash. I was like, no, I just sat on the countertop. I was like, I'm not touching a drawer. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I took 9 days away, and I mean, I was away.
And I don't think I bothered you while you were gone. Because I was like, well, I need to, and I was like, nope, he's on vacation.
Now, I had a couple of customers who attempted to, but I promptly returned their calls today.
Yeah, that's right. You got to, man. Got to.
Yeah. And I normally will. I will normally kind of respond or something, but I couldn't, man. I was burned. I really was. But yeah, I went down to the beach for a little bit. Got to see a buddy of mine that used to live here and hung out with him for a week. And then did Kim's 4-0 at the beach. Yeah.
Man, she's 40 already? God,
got me an old woman.
She's an old lady.
She said, you going to trade me in? I said, shit, I almost just now got you trained. I ain't starting over.
You ain't lying.
This is a one-band guy. I'm not doing this again. No.
Jamie said, what are you going to do if I die? I said, I'm going to immediately remarry. She said, what? I said, yep, and it's going to be some 95-year-old woman with about 1,000 acres and a couple mil in the bank. Hey, kids, we good to go.
She ain't worth that to me either. I'm just going to hope my children will help take care of me. I'm not.
There you go.
I'm not fooling with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to. There is no way I want to relearn how to live with somebody else.
Well, if you get them when they're old enough, though, they just kind of, y'all both do your own thing. She's going to forget that you're there. You know,
No, well, we're 18 days away from our 23rd anniversary. I've almost figured out how to live with her.
mm,
Almost.
well, and then all they're gonna do is just change.
Right.
Quick as
Right.
you start doing the right thing, whoop, I don't want it that way.
Well,
I
that's
want
not
it
the
this
right
way.
thing anymore.
That's not
Yeah.
right. I told you I changed that last week.
So, question for you: is Google a man or a woman?
If I had to guess,
It's
I don't.
definitely a woman because it answers your sentences before you finish them.
Oh well, that is true. That is true.
And then I just did the same thing to you, so I guess I'm a girl. I don't know.
Miss
Didn't think that through.
Travis,
Hello. I didn't think that through.
dude, I laughed so hard, man, when you on last the episode that just released. Nope, the one before the one that just released. I can't remember the episode of. Anyway, we were
The
talking.
one with no intro music or
Yeah, probably.
outro music or
Dude, when you couldn't remember that they made a gas oven.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't-
was listening to that today. I was dragging the trash cans across the parking lot to the dumpster. And we said, I said, well, I am an idiot. I did.
Dude, that was so funny, man. God, I don't know why that was so funny to me.
I did. I did the same thing. I said, boy, I am stupid.
Because you just forget. It's the same thing with
Yeah.
anything, dude. It'll be something you do all the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is this not making sense right now?
Well, I've had one gas oven in my entire life. Like,
Yeah.
as far as an oven goes. And the last two houses, the oven and the cooktop and the oven are separate units.
Yep.
So I guess I just kind of, I don't know. But yeah, completely forgot. That they
That
made-
was so funny, man.
Gas
I was like,
ovens.
is he messing with me right now?
Right? Well, you never know. You never know. Well, what have
So-
you been up to? I got nothing. I mean, I got some stories to tell if you want to just have a little story time. But what have you been up to?
Well, I've been, so we make cabinets for a living. Okay. We don't get to just go off on lavish vacations and all that. So I had to stay and work in the shop, and it's hot, and I wasn't at the beach.
But if you could go on a lavish vacation to the beach, would you want to go?
No, no,
Okay. Fair enough.
no.
Fair enough.
I would go by myself because then nobody is there to care whether or not I go to the water.
What if we went on a lavish vacation to the mountains?
Oh, I'm in.
You're in?
I'm in.
Oh, I got
I'm in.
a thing to add to the notes for something we got to talk about because you're going to be in on this.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So over the last week, so we're right smack dab in the middle of that biggest job. That
Okay.
seems to just be dragging on and dragging on. But
Where you at in the process? You in the build still?
yeah, we just about got them all put together.
Okay.
They got to go into paint shop next. We're going to do the bases first and go ahead and set them.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. and then work on the overheads and then go back and set them. I told the builder before we ever got going, I said, dude, I can't take 50 cabinets up there at one time. So it wound up, I think with drawers, it's going to be about 115 sheets of plywood,
Wow.
300
Biggest
board
job.
feet of lumber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's big. So, and then we got another one to do right behind it, and another one to do right behind it, and another one to do right behind it. That they're all basically just kind of waiting.
What a
And then-
fantastic problem to have.
Yep. And then a guy came in today, local guy, does a lot of kind of architect stuff around here, and they're redoing, I guess, part of the fellowship hall at one of the local Baptist churches.
Ooh.
And I think it was 10 cabinets. So I looked at it and I said, let me give you a price and we'll see what we can do. I kind of want to help local people out because they're local,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I made it clear to him that, hey, I don't have, unlimited time here.
Well, there's something to putting your stamp, so to speak, in. Oh, that's a good thing. I should ask. I need to ask you about that. But it's a cool thing to put your stamp in the community too. Like not
Yeah.
only like drive through a neighborhood and be like, "Yep, we did that house. But you know what? We help with that church. We help with that daycare. That's a local group that we help with. But
And the good news is this would not be a donation to the
ooh,
church. So,
paying gig,
because I don't go to
My-
church there.
my favorite thing. I like payday.
Them Southern Baptists, buddy, you think their pockets ain't loaded?
Yeah.
They are
'Cause
loaded.
they don't spend any money on alcohol, so they got lots extra.
Yeah, they don't drink. So
They don't drink.
Methodist church is over there struggling trying to pay the light bill.
Cheers. as I'm wearing my Old Smoky whiskey hat and drinking bullet bourbon out of my overpriced Milwaukee cup.
I'm turning you into a wheat drinker.
This is I actually just got in trouble, by the way, for that. This is the cup. This cup will keep things hotter than anything else I've ever seen in my life. I'm just letting you know.
Really?
It's like drinking coffee off the surface of the sun 4 hours after you put it in here. I promise you that.
Is it like, what are those things at the hotel that they put the coffee in? The big, the big thermoses, and you walk up in the morning and get it?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm like, this is ridiculous. There's no reason. Nobody can drink this.
Yeah. Same thing church
so
uses,
hot.
those silver things type things.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how they get it so hot, but.
Well, actually got me in trouble because I went to, fix my drink for the podcast, and I got 2 nights in a row. And I was like, well, I already had it poured last night when he canceled. So I had to finish it. I mean, I couldn't just pour out good bourbon. I mean,
yeah, no, you can't do that.
So I finished it. I didn't eat any ice cream last night because I had the bourbon. So, I feel like I traded.
Yeah, put that one on me. That's my bad, Kim. That's on me.
It's all right. It's all right.
That's my bad.
She done forgot about it,
So anyway, we keep going off.
Yeah, I know. Well, hold on. Before we go back, I'm going to keep us off for a second.
Keep us off.
Because there was a thing about when I said putting your stamp on things. Have you ever thought about, because I think about it, doing like a branding iron, or I know you got the laser engraver, like on like your drawer sides or anything. Have you ever thought about that? Because I know some guys do.
I have, yeah. And if I need to order one, I think I should do that. So we sign them, but we sign them in inconspicuous areas.
Yeah.
So it's not meant to be seen. It's meant for like, in 300 years when somebody remodels a house, they pull the cabinet off and they're like, oh, this was put in on this date,
Yeah.
So
I just wonder, like, how much value does it have? Like, say you do a cabinet job and a year from now that house is sold.
Which happens more than you think it does, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. But they're like, oh, I like these cabinets. I would like to do something similar into this room. I wonder who did them. And if they just opened the drawer and saw cat scratch, Grady, Alabama, like just simple. Like cat scratch, Grady. Oh, that's that's closed. I know that's not, I think if you put your city with it, I think that helps.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, these aren't ordered from somewhere. I can actually find this guy and probably get him to come back. If he's, still in business, I can get him to come by. I just wonder how much, I don't know from the cabinet world, how much that actually translates to more business.
I don't know. I mean, you'd probably get the cost of the iron back eventually.
Well, they're not that expensive.
I mean, in 10 years, like if somebody wants to redo their cabinets, you'd eventually get that cost back.
Mitchell,
but maybe
in the podcast any longer. He's frozen like the ice cream man.
There you go.
Oh, there he is.
You're back.
Hey, no, you're back. I've been here.
Well, you froze up on mine.
You froze on. Well, I guess we'll have to play the review and see who froze.
It's going to keep both our audios, so nobody's going to know what happened.
Well, I was making fun of you the entire time you were frozen.
Oh.
Because I figured you were doing the same to me.
No, I kept talking because I was like, he's glitching again, so I just kind of kept going, and then you wouldn't show up.
I called it out. I was like, Mitch is frozen like the ice cream man.
No. So anyway, yeah, I thought about doing that. And I just kind of want to, I wanted to know who made them.
Yeah, I kind of just want to brand stuff.
Yeah. Get that and get one of those map gas torches and heat it up.
Brand Kim.
Ooh, that may have some implications. If you brand Kim, do a cold brand.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, a lot of people, they dip the brand down in liquid nitrogen and hold it against a cow or the horse and it don't hurt them.
Really?
Yeah, don't hurt them.
Huh.
Actually, if you go online, you can find videos of people doing it and they just stand there the whole time. They're like, don't even hurt.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll pass. I'm not willing to risk it.
No, get you one.
No.
I'll
get one, but I'm not going to.
No, you need to be branded on your shoulder.
I'm branded. I'm branded by the United.
Lower back.
Ooh. Like a target?
So every time you bend over, they know who's working on their stuff, man.
They'd be like, boy, that boy needs a belt.
And then
my buddy says, you ain't got no butt. You just got a crack in the back. And it meets your belt.
So anyway, that's all we've been working on. It took us, I don't know. I did 85 sheets, and this is something I'm gonna put online, in the community. But in 8 hours, I processed 85 sheets of plywood. So it's roughly 6 minutes a sheet.
Wow.
I don't know how that compares to a CNC. Now, granted, the CNC will do your rabbets and they'll do your shelf pin holes, which saves time, but I got a guy for that.
And your hinge holes.
Well, we don't CNC doors. We order those.
Well, no, like they'll CNC your screw holes for plates.
Well, that goes on the frame.
Well, I guess if you were doing Eurotrash
Yeah,
cabinets.
for frameless, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eurotrash.
But in my world, it would rabbet the finished ends, and it would, do the shelf pin holes. But then somebody's got to unload it, label everything, stack everything where it goes, sort everything, load another sheet in, hit the button. But can it really do that in 6 minutes? Can it cut out a full sheet in 6 minutes is kind of what I'm... And
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the beauty of the CNC though is while the CNC is cutting those parts, you could be cutting face frame parts, or you could be doing drawer boxes, or you could be doing something. You could be doing another element to the build while that machine is doing part of the build. I think,
and see that gets complicated because there's two of us that do face frames.
Yeah.
There's one of us feeding the planer, one of us catching, flipping, loading, stacking, one of us running the radial saw, the other one labeling and stacking. So if that was just one person doing that, it would take twice as long. So it gets super complicated.
But like my shop, like where it's just me, like if I had a CNC cut my parts and I was working on face frames, I would benefit me. It might actually slow you down.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. But you got to also think, my 2-year rule, right? It's got to pay for itself in 2 years. And, dude, a CNC that is actually
grand?
worth a crap is a lot of money, man. Like
40, 75 grand, right? I mean,
that's the entry level.
Yeah.
Now you're going to see a CNC at AWF that's going to knock your socks off, dude.
I don't wear socks.
Well, you bring in it's going to knock your underwear off.
Ooh, I sometimes wear those.
Oh, a little risque business.
Not while we record though, because I just wear a shirt. And hat.
I don't have pants on.
Just so y'all know, just shirt.
But they got one that you bring your plywood and you put it in stacks, and it's a whole system.
I've seen that. I've seen that big boy.
Cuts it, and
it's got the suction cut robot arm.
Yeah, loads it, cuts it, and then stacks up per box, wraps it, builds a box for it. And
see, I just don't think that's woodworking though.
No, I don't. You at that point, you just some factory somewhere.
Yeah, you're RTAs, aren't you?
Yep. And then you get one that ain't right because there is no QC. You get one that's not right. Now you're dealing with some, idiot on the phone or something that's never been to the. It just gets stupid.
Yeah.
But we've been working on that.
I think that's a good production rate, though. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
If you don't think so, let us know. Offcuts at styleboyz.com.
That's right.
STILE, boys with a Z.
Should Travis get a CNC to test it out and see if it's a good financial decision before Mitch buys one?
Travis ain't got room for a CNC.
I don't either.
I don't know where I put one.
And other than that, we've been building boxes and knocking them out. And then today, I said, man, this dude's been waiting on his laminate tops. And I was like, I got to get these done. I called Charlie. I said, do you have any pointers? And he's like, I probably need to be there. And I was like, uh-oh. So he said, how about whatever day today is? What's today? Monday. And he goes, I can come over there Monday morning about 9:30. I said, all right, let's do it. So I had, the wood pieces made and the lip put on. And then he came over and dude, I thought it was just going to be cut and dry. It's not. I'm talking files, Vaseline. Vaseline. Special bits that I'm lucky I even had one in the shop, and it's crazy.
I'm going to Google. Vaseline. I'm afraid to type in Vaseline countertops. I'm just telling you.
Don't do that. But what it is
that on an incognito page.
they have a 7-degree laminate trim bit. And it's weird because it doesn't have a ball bearing on it. It's just a bull nose on the end. It's just a steel bit. So when you're doing the top and you have to come back and flush cut all the edges, you don't have a bearing that's riding against the laminate on the side of the countertop, and it'll burn it.
It's just a ball on the end, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's just there's nothing move. There's nothing that spins.
Right.
So it spins against the laminate. So if you don't put Vaseline on there, it can burn the side of the Vaseline. Dude, we're filing corners and filing and using these special scissors. And I was like, is that what those scissors were for? He's like, yeah. And I was like, uh-oh. I've been cutting everything with them jokers,
Yeah.
And he said that back in the day, every kitchen he built, he did the laminate tops for. Because granite, I mean, you had to be like stupid rich to get granite.
Right.
And he was like, dude, we did this every job.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. Like, to me, I'm not doing another laminate top. If I can't get a post form top that's already done, I ain't, nope.
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with it, man.
What kind of countertops are you putting in the house? What are you going with?
Quartz.
Quartz?
Quartz,
I like
yep.
quartz.
Mm-hmm.
I like quartz. Mm-hmm.
Got it
Man-made.
got it for $400 for a 5x10 sheet, 2 of them.
Where'd you steal that at?
So Worth called and said, hey, ain't y'all redoing your house? I said, yeah. And he goes, we got some quartz in here that they sent them too much, didn't want them back or whatever. So all they had to pay was freight or something. I don't know. And so he goes, they're for sale for stupid cheap.
Yeah.
And I said, how stupid cheap? He said, $400 a slab. I said, give me all you got. So we got 2 of them. And they've been at the countertop place for a year and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So looking forward to putting those back.
I didn't know about tickets to a gun show, but there we go. We went. Well, you're a big
Look,
boy.
I didn't have time to change, man. Okay.
That boy been working out.
I didn't have time.
I mean, he's over there flexing. He's look at this. Look at this. Would you look at that? Would you look at this? Look at this.
Look at it.
Well, just look at it.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm doing a little bit of Weight Watchers.
Oh, me too. I'm watching every bit that I put on.
So I'm trying to. Yeah, well, you get to the point like I did, and you're going to be like,
I did.
For a change.
Oh, I did. When I hit 235, I said, hoo, fat boy.
Yeah,
It's time. Yeah.
So we're doing that. Both of us are doing that, and Weight Watchers ain't bad.
No.
But so I'm at a calorie deficit every day.
Okay.
So I'm, it's not a big deal, but sometimes you can like be really hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we got that going on. And other than that, man, laminate tops, building cabinets, and I've been working on drawings in the evening.
Well, I know it's. Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Do you want to go ahead and tell everybody the big news?
Which big news? Because there's a couple things, right?
About me
and
going north. What'd you
That's up to
forget?
you.
Did you forget?
No, it's on the list. I'm going to talk about it. I just know there's a couple of big things I didn't know if you wanted to talk about. Like, I mean, so I didn't know if you wanted to give a house update. I mean,
did.
I know that. I mean,
did.
I know that was a big thing. So I didn't know where. Yeah. So
the slab is poured. Hallelujah. They came today and formed up for the porches. They're going to pour those tomorrow and talk to the builder. The builder said the framers will be here a week from today.
Ooh, boy.
So it's about
that's
to be.
When it starts cooking.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, you got the grease warming on the griddle right now.
That's it.
Like, and you getting ready to pop.
Yeah, and I went out there and I talked to the concrete guy. I said, "Listen, I'm not super picky. I just don't want any humps. Mm-hmm. If you have a couple lows, that's fine. Just don't when you cut the expansion joints, leave them flat." And he goes, "Well, we wait for it to dry, and then once it's dry, then we come back and
then they cut them."
I said, "Okay, all right," because I put a bunch of islands on one, and it's sitting there teeter-tottering.
Are you doing like stamped concrete on the front on the porches? Or are you doing broom finish?
No, just broom finish.
Just broom finish. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I really like? I like when they do broom finish but they smooth like the borders. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of section it, and it's got little smooth sections with a broom finish. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah. Charlie went out there today, and he was like, "Is this whole thing your porch?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, dang, you got one on the back too? I said, yep.
I'll be doing some front porch sitting.
You ain't lying. In the
Can't
morning
think
and in
of
the
the
evening.
words to that song.
I don't even know what song it is.
That's something about front porch sitting.
All right. And
Yeah,
I
that's
think
good
that's
news,
it.
though. I'm glad to hear it
Yeah.
progressing along. Any
Which
other big
means,
choices? Any other big decisions made as far as like finishes? Or I know you got doors picked out, you got windows picked out, you got your countertops picked out. Apparently, I know you got it like some appliances done.
yep,
What else is left? I mean, have you guys got down to like details
wallpaper.
like lighting and like
We've
fixtures and
we've talked about
plumbing?
lighting. We're back and forth on LEDs. Some of those LEDs they can flicker. Not a fan of that. I don't like that.
That's all in the
Um,
controller, though.
yeah, but I mean, if the controller goes bad, now you're replacing it, and then it's just
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I think
know.
it's mostly associated with putting LEDs on it, like the dimmable LEDs on a non-compatible switch. I think that's what creates the most flickering with
Yeah,
LEDs.
and so I got to research that and figure out what's the best thing to do, and then we have light color as far as the temperature of the light.
Yeah, yeah.
So we don't really know what we're going to do there. Tammy is anti blue light.
I love it in some areas. I do.
Yeah.
I love it
Well,
in the
she says
bathroom.
it's bad for your eyeballs.
Well, everything's bad for our bodies.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I would look at, to be honest with you, I've got some in the living room that I like. They're now it's kind of a pain in the neck to do it, but they're like a 5 color changeable, so they're positionable. Like so that you get into the house and like maybe you get to like a different season, you're like, oh, I don't really like this. I actually don't like this color. You actually aren't locked in. You can actually change the color. I mean, you wouldn't get up there and change them obviously like a lot, but
yeah,
you could change it if you don't like it, or I mean, like mine will go like from 3 to 6K. Like
yeah,
I can make them soft white, or I can make them daylight. So like you do soft white, and you're like, oh, I'd rather it be a little, excuse me, the sun doesn't come here like we thought it would. I'd rather it be a little brighter. And you could
hmm
take them down all of the ceiling and click them 2 notches and
yeah.
change.
And the doors came in, and Tammy's like, well, I guess we had to find somewhere in that middle room to put. I said, nope. You done got a tub back here, a big old 72-inch cast iron tub in the way. I said, I got to put 50 cabinets in this room.
Yeah.
And I said, we don't have room to put everything in the house. I already got a stove back there and all kind of stuff. So I don't know
Get
what
you a
we're going to do with
pod.
that.
Get you a pod. They're not that bad.
Dude, what?
They're not that bad.
Shoot.
That's like 300 a month.
That's bad.
I mean, it's not great, but it's better than having crap in your way.
I don't know what we're going to do,
They're
man.
dry, secure. You could put it up there close to the house, and then when they're needing stuff, the builders or the framers, they could just get it right out of the pod. Don't you have to bother
I'm
you.
going to tell the builder to come get them and take them to his warehouse and put them in there. What I'm going to do.
Maybe. Is that a thing?
You hear that, Sam? You're going to come get them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
anyway,
I know Sam listens weekly.
yeah, we're excited about that. It's fixing to really get going. And then that's pretty much it. We just been busting out cabinets. Nothing crazy happened this week.
Good. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about it or not. I mean, it's something a little crazy did happen this week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you
Well,
want? Is it okay to talk about, or
yeah,
is it
yeah.
okay?
So you had like got cancer or something.
No, not that, not that. Like, is it okay? But like, I
I'm
didn't
not
know.
pregnant.
Like, well, it's a little bit outside of the business and kind of what we've been. It's a little bit
Yeah.
more on the personal side. So
Yeah.
I wanted you to like, if you're not, you don't want to talk about it, then we just
No.
move on.
So Joseph, I traded an actual piece of woodworking equipment for a little Yamaha 110 motorcycle. And he's I ain't no telling how many hours he's put on this motorcycle, dude, just riding. And he left it.
Dirt bike, more of a dirt bike, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You said
And-
motorcycle, so I don't want
Oh,
somebody to
well.
think you're letting him rip and
Yeah.
roll up down the road on a motorcycle at
I meant dirt bike.
11.
So we had it leaned up somewhere around here. I don't know, and it is gone. Somebody has stolen it. So
You
we
know who
put
I think has it, right?
yeah. Yeah, it crossed my mind to ease
I mean,
down there and
I
do
mean,
a
I was
welfare check on him.
reminded on the podcast today that when I was listening
Hmm.
to it, that he has a love for that dirt bike
Yeah.
and likes to pretend he's riding it. He might have actually figured out how to start it.
And all he would do is hawk it for meth money,
Yeah,
But the thing is, we reviewed all the footage, and he
nothing.
parked it outside of where all these cameras ain't. Like, I mean, I don't know how he picked a spot that wasn't on the camera,
Right.
but he did, so we can't just see it, and then all of a sudden now it's gone. It's not that cut and dry, so I doubt we'll ever find out who did it. But the worst part is, man, he was just in here in the office just crying, dude, and I was like, golly, man, there's
Yeah.
nothing I could do. I couldn't fix it. I couldn't make it better. And he was devastated. Because, like I said, dude, he'd get on that thing and ride it all day long, man.
Well,
Never
he's
hurt
young. I
anything.
mean, he's young. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not an easy
11-year
pill
old.
to
Who
swallow.
steals a dirt bike? Who steals a dirt bike from an 11-year-old?
Well, I think you know the answer to that question. A piece of garbage.
Yeah. It's just, come on, people. We're better than that, man.
I'm just telling you, the offer stands. I got a truck with gas and I have a shovel. When we
Yeah.
figure out
Well-
when we find who's got that bike,
If I find it, we're going to be donating some kneecaps to somebody.
well, they won't be no good. Nobody's going to want them.
Be all busted up.
But like, can I get a refund? These kneecaps are broken.
But other than that,
Yeah,
man,
that
that's
sucks,
it.
man. I hope you guys find something. And I mean, we can do a off the rails GoFundMe. We'll get
Yeah.
JoJo a new bike. Ain't no
Yeah,
problem.
get him a gently used bike.
If all 10 listeners give $1,000 apiece, he'll have a bike.
He'll have a bike. You're on 10 listeners. Let's go.
Yep. Offcuts at
Mr.
StileBoyz.com. We'll accept your donations. We'll set up a Venmo or something, or I don't know. But yeah,
I feel like your mom
JoJo
and-
needs a bike.
I feel like your mom and dad are good for a grand each. I feel like
Each?
they're good for that. Yeah, each.
I don't know if you remember. I mean, my dad holds on to a quarter until the bird poops. I mean, I don't know about each. I might could get one, but not each. Love you,
It was
Dad.
worth a shot.
Yeah,
It was worth a shot. What you been doing?
man.
Got anything happened on vacation?
Man, well, oddly enough, I do. Not cabinet related, but it's affecting my work today. I wish I had a really good story for this, but basically, I went to bed one night and I forgot to lay down.
What?
Yep. I fell asleep kind of like in that semi sitting up position watching TV. And I don't know what I did, but in the middle of the night, I guess I rolled over or something, woke up the next morning in the most pain I think I've ever been in my life. And I'm not talking about like just cricking the neck. I actually like from here to like here, like inside of my shoulder, like just writhing with pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I rode with it for about 2 days, and finally I told Kim, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Find me something. So she was actually able to find me a chiropractor. I don't know how you feel about chiropractors, but I like
I love them. I love a chiropractor.
I'm a fan. So finally found this guy, Dr. Mike, at the beach. Don't want to get in a fight with Dr. Mike. He tried to fold me up into a pretzel. Big old dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a whole body. I like to start with the whole body. And so he starts with my legs, like stretching my legs. He goes, and I thought it was funny because of what I do for a living. He goes, you're as limber as a 2x4. I say, and you're killing me. Like, he's got my legs.
So they're
He's like,
screaming.
yeah. And he's like, and I'm not even like my knees bent. Like I'm not even nowhere close to where I should be. And he's like, I'm letting you get away easy. I was like, dude, just up here. Can
Up
we
here,
focus
yeah,
up
shoulder,
here?
back to
He's
the
like,
shoulder, pal.
he's like, we got to make sure everything in the body is front. And I was like, I do agree with that. I know that everything is affected by everything. But anyway, so did a little chiropractor, and he made an adjustment, and I felt better slightly, but I was in so much pain that I would slightly was good. But like I still, and at the beach, what you do, so like this is a very,
Mm-hmm.
I figured out how to do it, but that's a very hard task.
Yeah.
But I can't, so it's weird. So this way, I can come up, that's literally about as high as I can get my arm. Right? This way, I can get it up a little further. That's
Yeah.
it. I still have, like, as far as pain, not as bad, but I've like almost zero, and everything is heavy.
Yeah.
I went on an install with Derek today and tried to help him. I was like, dude, I am. I mean, I need to work because like I need to make my body do some things and like try to get it going. But I was like, I am dying over here. I cannot
It,
get my body to do like washing my hair is it's weird. Like Kim was making fun of me because we were at the Mexican restaurant. I was eating salsa like this. I was like
yep.
assisting myself, and she's like, "Just use the other hand." I said, "I'll drop it. I will." Like if I try to eat chips and salsa with my left, I mean, it's going to go all over. I'm not going to get the salsa to my mouth. She's like, "But you're gonna steer your hand. That's your
So
answer."
that's your fix.
I was like, "It's either look stupid like this." Or look stupid wearing all the salsa. What do you want me to pick your poison? Which one you want?
And you're sitting over there just hurting, man. And you're like,
Oh
God,
yeah,
cut me a
yeah,
break.
yeah. Well, my buddy gave me some crap like the first day, and then like the second day when like we'd be sitting around and he'd just find me like laying across the countertop or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like, "Really?" I was like, holding my head up is actually painful. Like it really was. But
And
it's better.
here's my question. Because we sleep on Tempur-Pedics. And Tammy likes to sit up sometimes, and
You got the adjustable base?
so we got the split king
Oh,
with the two.
woo-hoo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Double
boots.
money, baby.
You either in your boots or in your bed, buddy. Spend some money. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That is very true.
So I'm a Tempur-Pedic guy. I believe 100% in Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I was like, they have this thing called zero gravity where
Hey, babe, we got to change that mattress for the weekend.
yeah. So it leans your head up a little bit, but it also brings your feet up, and you're just like floating there. And I was like, man, this is so comfortable, dude. I fell asleep. And you remember when that back spasm that dislodged a rib? That's what happened. Is I fell asleep and apparently went to my side. But here's my question.
Like a burrito.
Yeah, why don't that wake you up?
You would think, right?
Like,
you would
if
think
it's
my
gonna
body
cause-
says, this is
Yeah.
going to hurt tomorrow.
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
like, hey, cuz, we need to move. We need to move. And I'm like, why didn't you wake me up? You know?
Well, I have an idea as to why it didn't wake me up.
Well, that might be a little bit different than my
I'm
scenario.
going to call it cervezas. Lots
Beach
and lots
trip.
of cervezas on the beach trip.
That's when Riley had to drive me to the doctor and cause that big old pile up
Was
in,
that?
an unnamed city.
Yeah. I'm getting more and more of this story. Little bit at a time. Little bit at a time.
Well,
yeah,
I'll
but-
divulge it.
But that's about the only thing, from the weekend that I can, or from the week. I mean, I really was as disconnected as I possibly could be. Other than giving Tommy a little bit of crap, because he, we let him have a week of vacation, and I don't know what happened from
Yeah,
there.
man, I'm telling you, man. He just dropped.
You
I
know.
told him, I said, dude, you give up?
Like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I'm getting paid to do. I think-
And now the one that just released, right? I played the audio for
I hadn't checked that. I hadn't looked at that one.
I played the audio from the sale, the auctioneer.
Uh-huh.
And Tommy comes in and he goes, Dad, that it's like 40 seconds long. You can't really tell what's going on, I said, no, leave it in there, because I'm thinking he's telling me you can't understand the auctioneer. And I'm like,
Right.
well, that's the point. And I was like, no, leave that in there. So he leaves it in there just like his old daddy told him to. But I didn't realize the audio just completely cut out during that 40 seconds.
Really?
Like you could hear it when I first started to play it, but then it was gone.
Huh.
And I was like, okay, next time if there's no audio,
Yeah.
then you need to let me know. We'll have to address it.
Well,
So that
I
was
mean,
on me.
I mean, Tommy matched the level of professionalism that we bring to the show, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Like, good luck, buddy.
I mean, as I said, it's all fixable. I mean,
But-
if it really bothers me that much, we can re-download it and fix the audio and resend it. Not a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, but, they wouldn't know what to expect if it was right.
So if there's an episode floating around out there that you notice doesn't really have any, intro music or outro music or description about what we're talking about, get over it. It's done. We're moving
No,
on.
they need to send an email.
Oh, email at offcuts or email to offcuts@styleboys.com. Attention, Tommy, you suck.
Yeah, there you go. They don't know what to think because I'm going to be gone this weekend. I told the builder today, too. I said, listen, I was supposed to be up there, and I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off. It was too busy. I said, I got to go this weekend. I said, he's moving in, and I got to go
Where
up there
you
and help
going?
him. I'm coming to your place.
I don't
Is that my
believe it.
room? Is that
I
my room
don't.
that you're in?
No. You'll be downstairs
I'll be downstairs with the common folk.
with the common folk. Where I live. I mean,
Golly.
you don't want to be up here with.
You gonna put me on the couch? Yeah, you got them Hanks up there. That's right. Yeah, don't put me up
Yeah,
there with them
there's
things.
something up here. No, I ain't gonna put you on the couch. Are you crazy?
You gonna give me the master bed, the big old bed, and y'all sleep on the couch? Like, what are we
I
doing?
mean, I
I need
can.
to know.
I'm taking Kim with me if I do that. But I mean, I'll give you the master.
I don't want nobody in there with me. I get a night in a bed by myself, man. You know how excited I am for that.
I'm gonna give you the guest room. What do you mean?
All right.
Now,
Okay.
Carson has already said that she's vacating if she's not sharing a bathroom with you. I don't know what that means, but
Where's she gonna go?
She said she's going upstairs.
Listen, I only tell her I only poop 4 times a day.
Look,
All right,
she has
it's not
been
gonna be that bad.
She has been attached to her sister this entire summer. I mean, I don't know that she spent a night in her room since Taylor moved home from college.
Yeah.
I think she's slept up here every night. But yeah, so you're coming up here. I mean, I'm more than stoked. And we had a really good segue into it earlier, and I can't remember what it was, but it's official. I signed the paperwork today. Signed the contract. Moving, changing shops.
Yes.
Yeah, excited. And I'm going to tell you one major reason why I'm excited, and it started this morning. Believe it or not. So, bad news. Had to put Kim's car in the shop when we came back from the beach. Beach is a good time to find out if your air conditioner is not working properly. And in all fairness, so nobody rides in the back seat of her car, really, right? Well,
Yeah.
we go on the trip. The girls are in the back seat, and they're like, "It's not really. It's a little hot." And kind of, do the dad thing. I was like, "Could be better." Well, through the trip, front air, it's getting cold, but it's not getting cold. You know what I mean? It's cooling, but not getting cold. I was like, "All right, well, we got to drop this at the shop when we get back." So she drove my truck today. I went on an install with Derek. He come by and picked me up. So we're driving down the road, and we're almost to my shop. And across the street, maybe I was trying to think of a distance that I should use. I'm going to say a 16th of a mile. I don't know if that really translates to anybody who maybe hadn't run, but about a 16th of a mile. Little bit over maybe 2 football fields, give or take. I look up, there's a bar across the street, right? And then you go just a tad bit further and you turn into the drive to the shop. And Derek and I are talking, kind of catching up because we didn't talk last week either. And I'm like, hold on a second. I pull my phone out and I start texting. He's like, what's up? I was like, oh, I got to text Justin, the landlord, the guy that I rent the shop from. Sheep are on the front porch of Boondocks. Sent. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, the whole herd. The whole herd was walking down the front sidewalk of the bar. And I was laughing about it though, right? Like I was like, ha 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 ha. Well, you know what that also means? That means the sheep have been out around the shop area. And
and they're
I know you
intermingling.
probably. Well, yep. So it's 5 or 6 sheep, 3 or 4 sheep, I don't know, and then 3. I know there's 3 goats that are herded together.
Take another sip.
So I know you know what happens when these animals walk because they're not potty trained.
Right. Yeah.
They just let her rip, Tater Chip. They poop everywhere that they go.
Cocoa beans.
Well, which one is not putting out the cocoa beans though? The goat or the sheep? Because I think a sheep doesn't do pellets.
They're all ruminants.
Somebody does oatmeal cream pies.
Yeah, see, he needs to get some wormer.
Maybe, but it's all over the place. So I'm like, ha ha ha, look at the sheep walk. Yeah, that also means that they are walking all around the front door of my shop, all around my trailer. So we get out to hook to his trailer because he left his trailer at my shop over the weekend. And it's like, not to mention, he just bought a brand new Denali, 2500 Denali.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 2024, nice. And I'm like, hey, watch your step because I don't want to get back in your truck with poo on my shoe. Yeah. And also, we're going to this client's brand new house. I don't want to walk with poo on my shoe.
In a bunch of sheep crap all in the house.
Oh, how embarrassing, right? But that was the moment that I was like, officially, thank you, God. I was having some questions last night. We actually had a long conversation last night. Like, is this the right thing? Should we move? I mean, because it's going to cost some money to make
Yeah.
this whole thing happen. It does when you change contracts. And this morning, Lord, answer my prayers. I'm ready to go. Like,
Yep.
let's pack it up. Let's go.
Get it over with, dude.
But yeah, so you're going to come up and help me with some electrical work. That's for those who are wondering, well, why is Mitch going to Tennessee? He's going to come up and help me with some electrical work. The building I like it. It's great. But there's one 220 outlet, and I'm not even really sure where it's at. And I need more than that. And Travis can run electrical, but I am terrified to death to win the panel. Let's call it what it is. And I think that you got to draw the line somewhere. I'm willing to try new things. And I'll go in the panel with you there to coach me and like to keep me and with a stick, to keep me from dying. But I'm not going to go in the panel by myself. It's just not. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I was
Even
like, well, if Mitch doesn't come, I'm going to run a bunch of wires. I'm going to run them all to the panel, and then I'll hire somebody to come in and just make them hot. Like, but I'm not going in the panel.
oh
I'm just
no,
not comfortable.
your boys. Don't worry, your boys gonna handle it.
I got you.
So yeah, we're gonna
But
go up there and we're gonna run a bunch of wiring and by the way, I know that I was using some official language last night on the text messages.
yeah, no idea
but
what you said.
but all that was 100% legit.
Oh, I believe it. I 100% believe it, but I 100% don't know what the heck you said.
I was just using certain terms. I was like, you
Yeah.
don't know what this is.
Yeah, he was talking about the frequency wave of electricity and the ohms of the monks as they sing the praise of the electrical voltage or something. I don't know. But I want to talk about that in a second. But so I want to tell you about I put in notes. I think I put it as drastic change. I don't know if you
Yeah, I saw it.
saw that. But so we go to sign the contract today. And do you remember the movie Happy Gilmore?
Yep.
Okay, one of my favorite movies. I like it a lot. Do you remember when he's kind of hallucinating or daydreaming and like everything is great, right? The grandmother is there pouring the tea, and the girl he's trying to get, she's in the lacy, outfit, and he's just like, oh, this is great.
Oh yeah.
I had a Happy Gilmore moment this afternoon. I kid you not. So we pull up. Kim rides with me out there to go do the paperwork on the shop. We pull up, and I can kind of see like between the house and this other building that I'm not really sure what it is. I see the guy that I'm renting the shop from, and he waves me through. He's like, "Come on!" Like he wants me to come around that building, come around to the shop. I was like, "Cool." So I pull around there. I was like, "Kim, look at this." He's got a couple of chairs in a circle. I don't know why so many of them. Maybe they were already there and I never noticed it. But it's several chairs, a table in the center. There is a jug of lemonade sitting there. There is a jug of tea. I'm not going to say sweet tea because he's from California. Apparently doesn't know how to put sugar in it, but it was tea.
Okay. Well, he's trying.
Yeah, right. Hey, 2 thumbs up. 2 glasses of ice sitting there. The paperwork is sitting there on a big old book for me to use as a desk. Like, it's all sitting there. And he's like, "Oh, Kim, I didn't know you were coming. Would you like a glass?" And she's like, "Of course." I mean, that's the Southern thing to do is to of
Yeah.
course. So he goes and he gets her a glass of tea. So long story short, I mean, we just thought we were going to show up and sign paperwork. We were there for a while. I mean, I had to kind of postpone you just a
Oh,
few.
is that where
a
you
little
were
bit.
leaving from?
Yeah.
Dang, because you
was
sent
what
me
it
a
was.
text message like pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, what I thought was just going to be signing of a contract, we actually sat there and shot the crap for, I don't know, probably 45 minutes or so. We met at 4:30, and I think, what time did I text you? We met at 4:30. I got there at 4:31. What time did I text you and tell you I was leaving? Or I called you actually because I didn't want to text and drive.
Yeah, I don't remember what that. 5:51.
5:51. So I mean, that's
Hour and a
legit.
half.
An hour and a
Yeah.
half. We sat there. Wow, a lot longer than I thought, and just talked about everything. But the reason I put drastic changes is because it was very refreshing. Because I told her on the way home, I said, "You know what the difference is?" I said, "It's Justin, the current landlord, just cares that somebody is in the building." I
Right.
was like, "This guy, Brad, very clearly cares that we are in the building." Like,
Yeah.
does that translate?
Oh
Because
yeah.
I don't know if it does, because since you weren't part of the conversation, but like, and like asking like a ton of questions, and I was like, and I told Kim, I said, "What's great is like he wasn't being nosy. at all. Like these were legitimate. I want to know about your business. I want to know about you. Like I want to know. I am actually curious and want to be knowledgeable about what's going on here. Like I do care. Like that you're having a business and that your business is contributing to my income. Like it was
Yeah.
just it was like day and night. Just the way and the tone. And I told her, I said, if there were any reservations, they're gone. I'm good.
Yeah. I got a good, I mean, for what it's worth, I had a good feeling about it. Like when I
Yeah.
saw when you first sent me the pictures, I was like, dude, this is going to be, and my mindset is crazy how much different it was from a 12 by 24 storage building
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like your mind updates itself with your surroundings. You know what I'm? Does that make sense?
Well, and that was one of the things we talked about. It, we were sitting there and we're underneath the trees. It's July. It's July the 10th, folks. It's hot in Tennessee. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I don't know what the temperature was. We were in the 90s, and we sat underneath these trees for an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, or whatever, and just talk. It was great. And I said, this is going to be good for my soul.
Yep.
This is because this building, and I'll post some pictures once I move in, and I'll show some pictures of before and afters, the old shop and the new shop. But like, I mean, this building's got like a little front porch on it, like just from the mental aspect of being, of just walking into a different environment is going to be
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, it's crazy. And, and he's got this dog, Buddy, who's a little nuts. I don't know what he is. I think he's some kind of mutt. Good dog. I mean, really good
He
dog.
has little what? He has little. What'd you say?
Little. Oh no, he is nuts.
Oh.
He is nuts.
Oh.
Little crazy, but he calmed down pretty quick actually. But he was like all over Kim, probably because of our dog, and he was like, "Oh, get down, get down, get down." I was like, "Actually, you know what?" And she was kind of laughing, haha. I said, "She really needs this dog right now. It's fine. Like she's had her." I kind of told her about the day she had. I was like, she actually needs this dog to right now, right this moment. And it was just so refreshing. I mean, it really was, and had a great conversation and, talking about moving in and he's given me, a week basically to come in and do the electrical for free. And essentially the last week of July, I'm essentially moving in for free as well. Because I mean, I think we made a good impression and I think that we're who he wants in his backyard. I mean,
Right.
and
Yep, exactly.
I feel like we auditioned for the part, and I feel like we were who we are. Well,
Well, you're quintessential, dude. I mean, you're quintessential. You're married, got a couple of kids.
Family business.
Your family business. You run your own business.
Yeah.
She's got a job, works, in a very not necessarily open to the public, but in like a, she's in a I guess it's a state sponsored
County.
It's a county school,
county position,
and all
yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
and he's just checking boxes off mentally, dude. He's like, yep, okay, yep. Doesn't seem to be a crack addict. Yep. He
Right,
he can
right.
speak, coherently. Yep. Got his pants up. Yep.
Yeah.
And dude, there's people that, I can't think of a specific thing, but there was who was that we had? Oh, we bought a car. We bought my black Ram from the guy in downtown Montgomery, and I said, "Listen, I didn't really know I was going to be buying this today, so it's going to be a week before my money hits. I've got to go move some money around and stuff so I can pay you for the truck." He said, "Write me a check and let me know when the money hits." I said, "Well, you don't really know us, He's like, "Dude, you and your wife, you're married, you got 3 kids, you homeschool, you this and that. I'm looking at your job history." He goes, "I'm not worried about it,
Yeah.
And it's so, you run into that, but it gives you a good feeling. And now you're
Yeah.
going to go in there, and if you see something wrong, you're going to fix it, or something, if you punch a hole in a wall or something, you'll probably fix it instead
Oh,
of
for sure.
being like, well, I hate my landlord, and he, so it's
Well, I've
good for
already signed
everybody.
myself up to fix an electrical issue for free too and for him.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. What you signing me up for?
No, I can do this one on my own.
Okay.
I'll show you. But there's a little side room that they're going to use as storage. That there's 2 ways to access it. You can access it from the front of the building, or you can access it from the shop. And he's like, well, I don't want to be trudging through the shop, and that's where the light switch is through the shop entrance. He's like, I need a switch at the front so I can turn the light on before we walk in. I was like, that's fine. I can take care of that for you. That's not a big deal. He's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, I'll take care of that.
I got a guy coming.
What? I didn't say
Are you gonna
that.
do it? Are you gonna move? Well, this is important. Are you gonna move the switch, or are you gonna make it a 3-way?
No, I'm gonna move it.
Okay. Oh, you
because that door, yeah, that's too much to do a 3-way.
Yeah.
Because that door, I'm gonna block that door probably, depending on your opinion. Because I need some opinions. I'm probably gonna block that door. I know you're full of something, but I'm gonna block that. I'm gonna block that door with a dust collector probably.
Yeah.
The way that it's, dude, I've been playing with this layout on a piece of paper, and I was like, I finally just threw it to the side. I was like, I can't. We'll just figure it out when I get there.
Yeah.
Like, I got so many ideas, but yeah. So I'm excited. So I got a question for you, and I don't know if how comfortable, and you tell me if you don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But we can get a little technical since we've kind of, I don't know, we've done our thing. So we can kind of be a little technical, and I've got some electrical questions, and some of it's kind of related to what I was talking to you about last night. Some of it's not. So I can ask the questions, and you can pass on them individually if it's not something you want to talk about publicly.
All right.
Or if you want to skip the entire conversation altogether,
hit me.
You tell me.
Go. Let's do it.
So let's talk about. So the first question is the 240 110 outlet situation. All right. So my question is, so for that, I'll catch up those listening, and I'm going to try to keep this as I'm going to try to keep my question as non-technical as possible, but I don't know that Mitch's answer can be non-technical. I'm just being honest, and that's not. I mean, I'm not being funny at Mitch. I literally, I don't know that it can be non-technical.
Right. Yep.
Because I think it is a complicated question. But so my question is, so I want to run, and this is the why. So I want to run a 220 outlet to a machine. And then off of that 220 outlet, without having to run like extra wires, I want to be able to steal a leg off of that 220 and make a 110 receptacle in the same box for the purpose of running the machine and being able to run a automated blast gate for that machine. I just need a little bit of power for the blast gate, not for anything crazy. So what I was asking you was, so if we run 12 3-wire, so for those of you, I'll try to be as much as I know, and I'm not I don't know a whole lot about electrical, but a 12 3-wire is actually 4 wires in a sleeve. So 1 wire is a ground wire, 1 wire is a hot, another wire is a hot for 240, and then we've got a common wire. Right? I'm correct so far. Okay. Yep. So, but I know for a 240 that we technically don't need the common.
Right.
We can run a ground and 2 hots, and we get 240. You get 110 on one leg, 110 on the second leg. So like your red wire would be 110, your black wire would be 110. Those combined, you get 220, or in this weird world, you get 240 somehow. So my question is, that if that common is not doing anything for the 220 outlet, can it be hypered over to the 110 outlet and one leg of the 220 come over and give me a 110 outlet in the same box off of the same feed?
All right, you ready?
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Or does the question make sense?
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay. All right. And you're full of crap, Travis. That can't be done.
Yes, it can be done. So, yeah.
Should it be done?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the load. So you're going to run the blast gate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're talking 1 action in to close, 1 action out to open. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, what I would tell you not to do is run a router table off one of those legs while the machine is running, while your big 240 machine is running.
Correct.
You don't want to do that because then you run into, you can have that 240, is like lined up perfectly, let's say.
Right.
Right. And if you put a current draw on one leg, that voltage will slightly drop.
So in easy terms, so I got two 110s coming in. I could essentially make one 110 and one 100, and now
Exactly.
they're not in harmony with each other anymore
Right.
because they're not speaking the same language.
That's right. And the lower the voltage, the higher the current. So
Gotcha.
when that leg drops to 100 volts, with the motor running, that leg, the current on that leg goes higher.
Gotcha.
And then you can kind of run into some long-term issues with the motor. Operating a blast gate, zzz, zzz, in and out, no issue at all.
Okay.
That neutral, you just tag it in to the neutral at the panel, run it all through, and that white wire is always a neutral no matter what happens to it. You just don't use it for the machine because a 240 doesn't require neutral.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why I was telling you on that 12.3, because I was wondering if that's what you were asking.
Yeah.
Or if you were asking 12.2 without a ground or 12.2 with a ground, and you were calling that 12.3.
I got you.
So I didn't really know. I just said 12.3 because, and really what that is, believe it or not, three-phase equipment requires a neutral.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I was mostly asking because 12.2 and 12.3 is a little bit of a significant price difference. That's
Yeah, so.
But because I was like, if we can't use that neutral wire to do what I'm trying to do, then why pay for a wire in there that's not doing
That's
anything?
right. And then you kind of have to play your cards right. And if you're going to be running one machine at a time on that circuit, you could go off and make a couple of drops. We'll look at it to save you some footage in wiring.
Yeah.
You
See,
know
I
what
was
mean?
thinking about just running every machine on its own drop.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
there's and the only reason why is it's going to cost me more in wire, but there's room in the panel. So it kind of seems like why, but even though that nothing, like I'm not going to run the shapers, even though like I have my shapers now, they're all wired into one central box.
I'm going to tell
Like
you what's going to
all
happen.
three shapers are into one box, but I don't run I don't run more than one shaper at a time.
Yeah. Charlie, I could choke you, Charlie. Charlie says, oh no, just run all this 120 volt equipment on this wall on the same breaker.
Mm-mm.
It's
Oh.
just me,
Yeah.
right? Well, guess what? It's not just me now.
Yeah.
The
That's
other
true.
day, I had Trey was drilling shelf pin holes. Thomas was running the planer, and I was running the radial arm saw. It's
Could you
all
get
on
any
the same
tools that
circuit.
require less draw?
Right.
I mean,
And it's on a
Jesus.
15 amp breaker, mind you, not a 20.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so the breaker flipped, and I was like, what in the world is going on? I go turn it back on, and I was like, yeah, we all get to going again. Boom, breaker trips. And I was like, are you telling me every one of us are on? And I got to thinking, well, 30 years ago, it didn't matter.
Right.
But now it does.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would
we're going to
rather,
do it.
and I would rather for as far as like because I told this guy that what I run it's now his property. Like I'm not coming back and pulling wires out. Like
Right, yeah.
I don't want to, and I mean I need it. It's money spent. It's gone. Like I'm not going to try to repossess wire. What the heck am I going to do with used wire?
Yeah.
Melt it down and try to get a couple pennies. So I would rather just do it where whoever he rents it to next time, maybe he can charge a few extra bucks. It's wired up right. It's ready to go, and move on from that.
And you never know
there's
what's going
plenty
to
of room.
happen. And you never know what's going to happen down the road, man. Dude,
True.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
You trust me. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say hypothetically he comes to you and says, hey, you've been paying on this shop for 3 months. I'm going to put that towards your down payment if you want to buy it.
Yeah.
And you may be like, dude, yeah, look at me, dude. I bought a shop. Next thing you know, the house next door came
Right.
for sale.
Yeah.
So, I learned a lesson from that, man. You kind of live your life because you never know. Make it as easy on future Trey
And
as
just
you
do
can.
the right thing. Just
Yeah.
Just do the right. Just do the right thing, and I mean that's going to benefit you.
Yep. Did you decide on? Well, go ahead, because you might be asking me the question.
All right. So my second question is, and I don't know how to make this make sense. So we talked about, like locking out the machine in one, and we talked about putting a
Disconnect.
a disconnect. Yep, and in there. So I got to thinking about it. I was like, Does it make sense for some equipment to not necessarily do a disconnect, but just to do a switch in the middle of the line? Can you do just a power? Is there a 240 light switch? I guess
Yeah.
is the question. So I
Hmm.
mean, could you just do a light switch in the run to kill the power? So that say you wanted to work on the machine, would that be more beneficial than and cheaper than doing a disconnect, or is that just completely asinine and wrong?
Well, the reason you want to disconnect is for a mechanical separation of power,
Oh, okay, I got you.
right? So
Right.
you want to spread the knives because those the blades that
Mm-hmm.
go in the disconnect. You want to spread those past the point of being able to arc.
Because when you turn that off in a disconnect, essentially that's more similar to cutting the wires
That's it. And yet that's
versus
unplugging it and holding the plug 6 inches
separate.
apart.
Versus a switch, the
But
wires are still connected, just the switch is just turned
well, yeah,
off.
a switch, you're unplugging it, but now the wires are this far apart.
Right.
So if your concern is a power surge or something coming through, it could potentially jump the switch.
Yeah.
So I don't think a switch is going to give you what you're looking for as far as a large mechanical separation.
So I need to look at a couple of disconnects.
If you want to go
Probably.
that route, or you could do like a now what I did on the bandsaw because I mean I like the twist lock plugs, but I don't at the same time.
Yeah.
What I did is there's a special plug you can buy that's got two horizontal blades and then
Mm-hmm.
your third blade, right?
Yep.
So anything like a cord or something or a plug that I put in, it's got those two flat blades and then your grounding blade.
Which
And
essentially keeps you from plugging in a 110 item in a
bingo,
220 plug.
bingo. But you don't have to fiddle with the daggum twist lock and get it all lined up just right and perfect
Mm-hmm.
and twist it and turn it and
Now I
you
have
ain't
the
got to do all
three
that.
prong twist plugs on everything right now, and I don't mind the three. It's the four prongs that I don't like.
Right.
I don't like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So,
I can't scratch my ear because my arm won't go that high.
so if you don't want to fool with a disconnect and you don't want to fool with, a switch or do anything like that, if you just want to plug it and unplug it, then I wouldn't get a twist lock. I just get the two with the horizontal blades and the ground plug and just put it close to the machine and just
Okay.
that it's either that or for your peace of mind. Now we're talking about your peace of mind.
Right. Just
So for your peace of mind, I would either do an easy plug to get in and out or a disconnect. Now,
disconnect.
disconnect's going to cost you, dude. But by the time you get 6 machines on what is a disconnect run? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I'll look it up while you're asking the next question.
Okay. This is probably a little frou-frou. And probably people, if anybody's listening to this that is like a real woodworker, it's like, Travis, this is the stupidest question you have ever asked. But I think for a one-man shop and the way that I work, I think this is a legitimate thing to consider. And,
Okay.
So take it for what it's worth. This may not, I don't know, maybe for a multiple person shop like yours, this might make sense too. But I am seriously thinking about trying to also run, and I would do it like with an LED bulb so that we're not drawing much current off of it, but wiring up an operational light for certain tools. Like an actual, this tool is on
Yeah.
light.
Not a bad idea.
Because and the reason why I ask, and I mean, thank you for backing me, but the reason I ask is because a lot of the times, especially as a one man shop, I've got earbuds in. Do you know how many times that I have gotten done with the end of the day? I've took my earbuds out to turn the light switches off and realized there's been a vacuum running for hours. Like, I'm like, how long has that vacuum been running over there?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and it's because I got, if you got earmuffs or you got earbuds in, like you can kind of, or oddly enough, and if you don't work in a shop and you don't believe me, you think I'm nuts. I've had nothing in and the vacuum has been running for hours and I've just tuned it out.
Yeah.
I've just forgot to pay it any more attention because I've been using it and it's been running and I quit using the tool that the vacuum sander mostly. So the shop vac that's hooked to the sander, it's been running for God only knows how long, and I hadn't sanded anything in hours, And
Yeah.
it's like, well, if I had a light hooked to that, that would go. Maybe it would go stop, turn this off. I mean, does it? I don't know. I mean, obviously, say it's not. You say it's not a stupid idea, but I mean, what do you
Well, I
think?
tell you, one guy, if you go look up
Yeah.
Perkins Brother Builders,
Oh, you just talked about him in the last
yep,
podcast.
on YouTube, he was working in his shop with not even earbuds, not even listening to anything. I'm talking ear. They tell you wear ear protection in here, right?
Right.
Well, you can't hear your machines running a lot of times.
Yep.
He goes to set something down on the joiner. Hey, baby, it's running.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
it terrifies me. Oh
Drink. It
no.
took every single finger off his right hand down to first knuckle.
No.
240 volt Helix head in the jointer.
Oh gosh.
So, well,
That's a mess in the dust collector.
Yeah. So why can't you just tell it's running? It has a low profile blade and it's spinning extremely fast.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about this: your
And
table
they're quiet.
saw,
240
Yep.
machines get quieter.
they're quieter.
They don't.
So your table saw with that blade only sticking up that high, it could be running and you
Yeah.
throw something over there and not know it.
Or
I've
you
left
think
the-
you've. I thought I've hit the paddle on a table saw before, come back and realize I missed it.
Oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
My radial arm saw I know was ran for 2 or 3 hours while I was off doing something else,
Whew.
and it's just sitting there running.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
So yeah, you'll have to come off the load side of the switch. It'll be easier on a mechanical switch, but you can do it on either one of them. I say easier, not really that much easier. But yeah, you come off the load side of the switch, and you can put a little 110 volt light or whatever you want.
Yeah. So that's not stupid. I mean, that's not just
There's
ridiculous.
Dude, there's
question.
shops that have that. Plenty
Yeah.
of shops that have a light on whenever a piece of equipment is running. I wouldn't put it where it's in your face.
Right.
I'd
yeah.
put it, maybe above eye level or something. But yeah,
Well, I would just like the vacuum. Like I would just like to be able to turn around and see that. I'll go, oh crap, I left that on. I mean,
yep. The only way to do that, you have to have access to the load side of the switch.
on the switch.
Yep. So you got a line side
Right.
and a load side. So your line side's always hot. So your
Gotcha.
light bulb, if you came off that, your light bulb always be on. When you turn the switch on, it energizes these other wires. And these
Maybe
other
we'll have
wires
enough
that you have
time
to
that you
have.
can show me one machine because I'm not moving
Oh, yeah.
machines while you're here. So maybe we have enough time. You can show me one machine and I can do it from there because I'm not scared of that.
We're going to get to go to both shops?
Both shops. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't want to
Well,
ask, but I was
I
like,
have to
I
take
wanna
you to
go.
both shops because I have to take you to the old shop because I want you to see the setup. I want you to see how I'm currently set up, so that when we go to the new shop, you can kind of see what I'm thinking about setting up. So I want you to see the current workflow, which I know I'm going to jack my workflow all up, but I want you to see the new workflow and maybe see how I can get close to the same or where you can see areas for improvement because I'm completely open. Like
Yeah.
I got a couple of ideas of things that I want to change anyway. But yeah, but we can't go to the new shop. Are you coming on Friday?
Yep.
Okay. So we can't go to the new shop until Saturday anyway. So I figure we go to the new shop on Friday sometime.
Old shop.
Old shop. Yep, old shop. I'm gonna try to have as much electrical stuff as possible before you get. I don't know what you think. You leaving early or are you leaving late? What are you thinking?
If I
If
have
y'all don't mind
enough,
if we do a little admin here real quick. Hold on.
if I have enough to keep Trey busy Friday, I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
I'd
just
like
let me
to
know.
leave Friday morning
Okay. Okay.
because Friday morning I'm gonna be like, do I really want to stay here or do I want to go see Trey Trey?
Well, because I was thinking, I'm going to go to. We've got a local electrical supply house, which obviously is going to be cheaper than big box, but they're not going to be open on the weekends. So I was going to try to go get as much electrical supplies as possible beforehand, and then that way, if we have to run on the weekend, we're just running to big box for like little stuff. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
because
I'm
I
gonna bring
priced it
my-
out. Conduit and wire not cheaper than Romex and Staples. I thought
Yeah.
it might be. But it could be. I guess when I get to the supply house, I'm gonna.
Now, when you say Romex, you mean the spiral bound
No, not the
metal
metal
jacket?
No, not the metal spiral bound. Just 4 wires in a sheath.
Oh, okay.
Or should I do metal? Do I need to do metal
What is
if I
that?
go that
That's
route?
it's not Romex. What am I thinking of?
I can't think of the actual term of that.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
I mean, Romex is just sheathed,
Yeah,
right?
it's just a regular wire. Yeah.
So what's the?
Dang, what's the name of that stuff? Anyway,
It's like in its own insulation.
yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about. Well, you just kind of have to be careful with the Romex because it could get damaged.
MC cable.
Yeah, that's what it is. MC cable.
It's a lot more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, so if we're going that route, if I need to go that route, PVC and wire is what we're going. We're just going to pull wire individually through the PVC.
We'll look and see what we got to deal with. I mean, if you keep the Romex up high,
Yeah.
and then drop it down, you may just
remember
want to do.
the roofs are all pitched, so there's no flat roof. Everything's high. I mean,
Yeah.
got to go around the sides, and that's the other thing I got to figure out is how to drop because I'm gonna have a couple of drops that aren't on a wall, and it's like, well, how in the heck do you drop that?
That's when you do SO cable and slings.
I know what SO cable is, but I don't know what slings are. I need a sling for my shoulder, but I
It's
don't
like
know.
a sling is a Chinese finger trap that you push up on the wire, and then the more you pull on it, the tighter it gets, and it keeps it from ripping out of the box.
Oh, like metal. Oh, like mesh. It looks like metal mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just going to buy a bunch of crap, and then I'll take back what I don't need.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends on what time I get up there. We can, walk around and look, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we can play that out. Well, I mean, that was my electrical questions. I mean, that's all I got. I mean, I just
Listen, I had good news. We can do both of them.
Oh,
I'm not listening, buddy. I'm not here to shoot you down, man.
But I can't do. I'm
not.
not. I'm gonna let you know. I'm not doing blast gates right now. I've done the math on it.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about $1,500 extra bucks to do automated blast gates right now.
Yeah.
I ain't.
Harbor Freight's got the little PVC ones.
Oh, I got tons of the PVC ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, not buying automated gates right now. But I was like, man, well, maybe if I do one or two, that would help. But it's expensive.
Yeah. Electricity
Really?
is expensive.
Yeah.
Putting it in and then using it.
So what? So did I ask the question that you were asking me, expecting me to ask, or is
I
there
can't even remember what I was going to ask now.
Oh, well, I'm vibrating like crazy over here. I don't know what's going on.
I'm daggum. I'm not even. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I can't remember what I was going to ask you.
Well, so I was going to tell you, I'm terrified for you to meet. I don't know if they'll be around this weekend, but I learned today that the couple that I'm renting the shop from, so they're a California couple, and she has a horticulture degree or horticulture certification from somewhere, and she is into making her own ink from trees.
Huh.
I was like, oh God, I can't let her and Mitch sit down and talk to each other.
Yeah, I need to meet this old gal.
I didn't know this. Whatever the ink that was used to write the Constitution with, God bless America. This is my 4th of July shirt. As
I
close
like
as
it.
I could get to the 4th of July. She can make that ink. It's iron ore ink or iron tree something. I don't know. She can make highlighter ink out of a tree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to meet her. See, if I meet her, though, it needs to be after I, deal with all your stuff.
Right. But I was like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like this is going to nerd out. He's going to walk around here with a metal detector and then want to talk to you about making ink.
Did you ask me if I could metal detect up there at that old barn? You didn't ask.
I'll ask. I forgot.
I don't know if we're gonna have time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full week. Maybe a full weekend. Yep. So, do I need to go kill a cow for you to come up? What do I need? What kind of groceries do I? What kind of snacks you like?
Well, let's see. Well, we got 2 nights, right?
Yep.
I don't do snacks,
Okay.
so
You just need a full lunch. Like we just need a full lunch break.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I don't have
Okay.
to have breakfast. I'm good with no breakfast, but I need lunch.
How do you feel about
And
an
dinner.
Uncrustable? Because that's my breakfast. I love an Uncrustable for
I
breakfast.
mean, I'll eat one for breakfast.
I mean, you take it with you, you give it 30, 40 minutes from the freezer, and it's primo fresh. Grape or
Okay.
strawberry? Let's see. Let's see. Grape or strawberry?
Ooh, man, I don't know. I'll go grape. Listen, I don't really care. I was just guessing. I was just
I mean,
guessing.
I'll have both because the girls eat grape. I love strawberry. Now, grape on the beach, a couple of beers, nice.
So you're
Strawberry,
gonna have me out there sweating like a pig, and you're gonna give me an uncrustable?
yeah, to start.
All
I'll see how
right.
you do before we move to lunch.
Yeah, let's see. Lunch, I don't. I'll have to look up and see what all's around. I know, we got to go Mexican one night.
Well, ain't nothing around, but yes, absolutely. I'll take you to
Yeah.
I will definitely take you to my Mexican watering hole and get your official opinion on the salsa because I know that makes a Mexican restaurant.
Yep. Chips
And I
and
need to tell
salsa.
you offline about my trip to the Mexican restaurant the other day. It's very similar to your Mexican chair slide.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Little drunk guy. Anyway,
They're fun, ain't they?
I couldn't take it. There was an injustice in front of me, and I couldn't. You know what? I'll tell the story. I'll tell the
Tell
story
it.
real quick.
Tell it.
Because I feel like I've told enough. But there was an injustice in front of me, and I couldn't take it, and it made me so mad. So this couple got up. There's a guy there, and he's playing music, which I don't love, by the way. I'm just telling you. Hey, I'm there to eat. I don't need live music. I'll go to a bar if I want to hear music because
Yeah.
it's usually too loud. But anyway, this guy was doing pretty good. This couple comes by. And I'm like, before it even happens, I'm like, Kim, look at this woman. She is she's bouncing off a boost. I mean, she is hammered.
Oh,
So and I was like, and I see it coming. She goes over to the guy playing music and she's trying to give him a hug. And I was like, here it goes, babe, babe, babe. She knocks over his music stand.
no.
She knocks over his tip jar. She knocks over the stool that the tip jar is on. Stuff goes everywhere. And the guy who is drunk too somehow manages to catch the microphone before it hits the ground and just goes, sorry about that, folks. Sticks the microphone.
In the microphone?
Yes, in the microphone to the restaurant, sticks the microphone in the holder and walks off. Just walks off. Now, I don't mean this to be ugly. I just mean it to be part of the story.
Yeah.
The guy playing music is a little bit of a heavyset fellow.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not a little bit. He's a lot of a heavyset fellow. And he's got a guitar strapped around him. All right. Heavyset fellows don't pick up things well off the ground as it is.
No,
but put a guitar strapped around him, and he's
Yeah.
definitely struggling.
He's
right?
immobile at that point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and again, I'm not trying to make fun of the guy at all. I'm just trying to paint the picture of what's going on. So more of a struggle is going on. And I'm talking about like dollar bills and change and music sheets on the floor.
My goodness.
And this guy is at the cash register and he's just yucking it up while I'm watching this guy trying to pick all of his stuff off the floor. And that was the point that Travis saw an injustice that he could not handle. So I walk real quickly up to the counter and I slap the drunk guy on the shoulder and say, hey, don't worry about it, buddy. I'm going to tip him since you didn't feel it necessary after your wife knocked all of his crap over, and I'm going to help him pick it up. And he goes, oh, buddy, man, that's right. And he tries to give me a high five. And I said, don't high five me, you piece of boop. And I walked off.
Oh, man.
So I go over to the music guy and I'm like, hey, buddy, I give him a 20 and he's almost got everything picked up by now. And I was like, I am so sorry that happened to you. I said, I didn't do it, but I apologize for the way that guy acted.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back to my booth, or I'm going back to the booth, and the girls are in the restroom. The daughters are in the restroom the whole time. My wife's there. And as they're walking back, Kim goes, he's coming this way. I said, he's not going to come all the way over here. There's no way. She's like, I bet he does. So I kind of get the girls in the booth, not where they were originally sitting. I'm like, just sit down. So he walks
about
over
to go down, baby.
and he stops to the musician, and I don't know what goes on over there, and he decides to walk on over. And this is where my wife puts me in an awkward position, as I told her. He comes over and he starts running his mouth. I said, I'm going to tell you something, buddy. You need to take your drunk out of here. My family's right here. This is not going to work out well for you. Just go. And so then so Kim stands up between us and she goes, this ain't happening. You need to go. And as I told her when we got home, I said, babe, that didn't help anything at all. I said, I had a push and I had a poke and maybe a second push in me,
Yeah.
and I would have been fine. I said, but you put yourself in the middle where if he touched you, I'm gonna have to kill him.
Yeah. Now I'm going in for
Like
manslaughter.
I got to kill him if he
Yeah.
hurts you or touches you trying to get to me. Like that didn't help the situation at all. But anyway, so I'm like, dude, I tell him again, I'm like, hey, my family is right here. You need to tuck your drunk A out of here. And he goes, well, you want to meet in the parking lot? I said, well, I got to pay my bill and I got to walk to the car. What happens, happens. And this other guy that's in the booth beside us, um, who likes the gym more than I do, apparently, he stood up and he's like, hey, bro. And he kind of got between Kim and him. He's like, you need to leave. Because I don't mean it wrong, but I got to play the family card. I'm like, hey, you're in a family restaurant. You walked all the way from over there to all the way over here to start something in front of my kids. And I got the whole bar behind me at this point. Like,
That's right.
or the
Yeah.
whole restaurant.
Yep.
And, so, and he walks out. And of course, I mean, I'm a pretty vigilant person, right? So I'm watching him. So when you go out to pay, you can't really see out, but there's a very narrow window when you can see into the parking lot. So I'm watching him, kind of figure out where he goes because I know where I'm parked and I know where he's parked. So I just want to see if he's in the opposite direction. So I pay and I write it down, and I'm like, then the hostess, she kind of looks at the receipt, and I was like, double check the math on that. I said I'm a little distracted, and she's like, what's going on? And trust me, I'm a regular at this restaurant.
Yeah.
She knows me. I mean, we're there once or twice a week. Like, and she's like, what's up? And I kind of told her, and she goes, what a move that guy did. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, she's instantly mad at him as well. She's like, he comes in here every once in a while, and this is what we have to deal with. And I was like, well, I just, him being drunk in the building doesn't bother me at all. But the way he did that guy,
Right.
it
Yeah.
flew. I mean, it flew right over me, all over, and I just couldn't take it, But, I mean, and I almost felt bad, but then I realized I didn't. So
Yeah.
I moved on. But
Yeah. People that do that kind of crap, they put themselves in that situation, man. They just,
Yeah.
it's like, if you want to go out and drink and have a good time, go out and drink and have a good time. But you got to know, like, he knows how he gets,
yeah.
in this. And let me tell you something, my brother,
Well, when your wife's bouncing off things like a ping pong ball,
Yeah.
like you should
you need to
get
go
her
home.
one of you. Look, I got no problem with anybody. I don't have a problem with anybody getting plastered because
Yep.
I am guilty. I will. I mean, I will have my good time as well. Fine, but you know what the rule is? Somebody's got to watch out for somebody. Only one of you can get plastered.
Right. Yep.
Like, because somebody. Well, for one, somebody should be driving somebody home. Like, I mean, that's kind of our rule. All right, so you're gonna have a couple of margaritas. All right, I'll have a beer. We're going to be here for an hour or so. I'll have a beer at the beginning. I'll have a little bit of water at the end. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a saint. I mean, I'll drive after I've had a little to drink, but we're not going to both sit there and hammer drinks and then
Right.
coin toss at the car and see who
Yeah.
catches it and see who drives home. Like,
Yeah.
somebody's got to stay responsible,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they weren't doing that.
Yeah. Because me and Chris go out, buddy. He has a good time, man.
Yeah.
He has a good time, but he chills out, man, and he'll just be sitting there. He's so chill and relaxed, but he never gets inebriated to the point that he has no idea what's going on,
Yeah.
and everything. And he just, you'll never see that. So I'm like, if I go out with him and we go to a bar or something, I'll sit and I'll drink a whiskey sour or something like that, and then he's, we just sitting over here and we have ourselves a good time. We go outside, wait on the Uber and go back to the hotel, But yeah, go out and have a good time. But you're going to go out and do something stupid like that. What's going to happen is somebody's not going to give him a second chance,
Oh, for sure.
sooner or later.
I'm not going to either.
That's right. Yeah. Somebody's going to sit there and they're going to be like, well, I tell you what, buddy, you want to come over here and start this, and who knows, maybe they've had a few drinks or something themselves, and then they just go crazy. But you'll have that when you go out there and you deal with people, and people around here that come around, and we sit around and they'll come over and they'll drink a couple of cold beers or something. We sit around and talk, and and have a good time. But, it's always interesting to see how, like, what people's motivation is, when they go out. And it's the same thing as far as, like, if they can go out and do that, and really wake up in the morning and be okay with it, then what do they feel like anywhere else? Like they're going out to see a customer, what kind of person are they going to be then?
Exactly. I mean, just never know.
Just the way it is sometimes.
Well, what do you have coming up?
I've got,
we'll segue out of the drama.
Yeah, I've got 2 houses that I'm currently drawing. And then
that's the other thing we got to do while you're here.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you, but I was going to bring that up. I got it written down.
I'm dying. A slow death. Trying to work this software.
Dude, I told you, all you got to do, man. I'm here for you, buddy.
I know, but I really haven't. So I've played with it. So, I guess we haven't told everybody. So I did officially, I think we had a little conversation about it. So I did officially switch softwares. So Mitch and I are running the same software right now, and it's like trying to speak French. Like, I'm sure that I can learn it, but my God. And there's trainings and there's stuff, there's resources that I have not partook in. Let's just be honest. I got on there and I goofed around. I got a cabinet in the room. Can't figure out how to do anything with it. I did figure out how to like unmake it, like separate the parts, but I'm going Wednesday to measure my next job. So I was like, ooh, we can kind of tittle with it.
We'll draw it up Friday.
Over the weekend, And,
yeah.
Yep. But I'm excited. I'm super excited about it. Still.
But you got in the end and everything. Did Emmanuel do you right and all that as far as helping you out?
Yeah. Oh, I need a cut list.
Okay.
Or I can buy it because I think there's 2 seats. I mean, according to him, there's 2 seats for it.
Well, you can have the other seat. I don't need it.
You don't need it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Because I was trying to figure out if I need 2 seats, but I'm only going to print from one location, so I don't think I need it. Mm-hmm. I'm only going to print from because I'll have an office, so I'll print from my office. And I'm hoping I'm actually hoping the internet is stable enough. I thought about it today, actually. If the internet is stable enough out there, we might can move the podcast recording to like some point during the week and like just make it part of our day, maybe.
Yeah.
Even if it's a random day that we're just making, like I could do what you do. I can go sit in the office.
Oh yeah.
I got to get one of those cool signs right there.
Yep. You got to have one of those.
Yeah. Can you bring your laser engraver with you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I throw it on the back of the truck, and Tammy said, "Are you taking a car?" I said, "Heck no, I ain't taking a car. I'm taking a truck." She goes, "I figured you'd say that." But now here's the question that we do have to ask: is do I need to bring podcast stuff? Microphone and earphones, but I'm going to need a PC there.
I have a PC. I mean, I have another laptop.
It's up to you because we could face to face it. To me, it's not worth it for me to be sitting in the living room of your house and you be upstairs. I would only do it if we could be in the same room.
Yeah. See, I don't know how we could try it, but I don't know how it would work.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know. I mean, I'm willing to try it for sure. I mean, and I've got an extra laptop. And
I'll throw the stuff in the truck, and then if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
Now, yeah, if you can bring, and I have an extra microphone, but these are better.
Yeah.
But they're also super sensitive. So I don't know where we got to be. I mean, if I scratch, you can hear it in the microphone.
What, can you hear me scratching?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear it. Right. I mean, everybody heard me like breathing like fat man in a little suit in the last episode. I mean,
I was not going to bring it up.
I was like, what is that? No. Listen to Travis breathe. He can't get any oxygen. I mean, so I don't know what to do. I mean, it just seems like this microphone keeps getting more and more sensitive as we go. I mean, I'm
It
out of room.
does.
I can't back up any further. But what's crazy is if I do this, it significantly blocks the sound. If I do this, I mean, like I can hear the change.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You were breathing. I was like, what's that noise? I was like, man, that's Travis breathing. And
yeah.
it's not like you were labored breathing or anything. You were just regular breathing. But
Well,
we had the exact
I'm
same
I'm
microphone.
fat, so breathing is labor for me.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like
I
me
don't know. I mean,
sometimes.
we'll figure. I'd like to try. I would love to try it. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
I mean, sitting in the same room and doing a podcast would be like, I'm afraid that I'd be like, well, I don't want to do it anymore if we can't do it together.
But you got to
But
tell Kim she can't be coming in there messing with us. Because she's going to come in there and try to play a joke or something, throw stuff at me. Could be
that's true.
shooting spitballs at me like she did back in high school.
Yeah, she ain't got no aim. You just sit still. If you move, you might get hit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, dude. I need, we went on the canoe trip and that was fun. We had a really good time. Nobody got burned,
No,
so, uh, but I don't know. I love my wife. I love my kids, dude, but you know what I'm saying.
a break is a break. Like I mean, a break. There's two breaks. There's a break from like the everyday life, and then there's that stag break. There's that
Yeah.
break where you just get to do your own thing,
Yeah.
and you don't have to you don't yeah, because so every September, Kim goes on a beach trip for a week with this girls group, and when it first started, it was like terrifying, and the girls were young. I mean, she's been doing this for I don't know 8 or 9 years, and the girls were young, and it was terrifying to me. Like I'm in charge for a week, and
Yeah.
now I'm like, bye. This is my favorite
Yep.
week of the year. Like,
Yep.
we'll see you. I mean, because I got a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old. Like, it's like whatever. I mean, a 15-year-old. It's like whatever. I'm actually going to Greenville to work this year for a week of my mother-in-law's. But yeah, but it's a week that I don't have to consider anybody else in a decision
And
that I make.
that's all
And
there. That's it. That's
and
it.
that might sound bad, but everybody listening knows what I mean. Like,
Yeah. But we see our kids all the time,
oh,
you know,
you especially, yeah,
like,
yeah,
and us, like you don't work out of town. You're
right.
not a
No,
pilot or something. You
no,
know what I'm saying? So we see our kids and our wives every single day. This part of the reason we got into this. I see
yeah.
Tammy throughout the day. She'll pop in and I don't know what she does, dude. She'll like walk through the shop and then I'll forget she's here. And an hour and a half later, she'll walk out. All right, see you later. And I'm like, what you been doing?
Hey, I need
But
you to hang a flag when you're in the building. I need to
yeah,
know
really, man.
because I like to crack jokes and I need to know. I'm
But
gonna get caught.
But with us homeschooling and everybody works here, nobody leaves.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves the house. They don't work here every day. But it's just like it's rare that I haven't been away by myself since last time we went to AWF,
Oh, okay.
and that was an overnight trip.
Yeah.
And I go with Chris, a couple times a year or whatever. But it's just it's something like I said. I don't want it to sound like I don't want to be around my family. I'll miss them, dude, while I'm gone. Like
Oh
Sunday,
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, I'm ready to see
I'm
my
ready to go.
kids. I'm
I'm
ready
ready
to
to
see
go
my
home.
wife. But it's just something different when you're by yourself. Hey, I'm grown. I'm a grown man. I'm 40. I can go on a
Ain't
trip.
you? Ain't you? So, I just almost got myself the giggles. Do I have to call you Sprinkles while you're here?
No, that's just this week's name. That's who I identify as this week is Sprinkles.
So this doesn't show up anywhere. Like it doesn't. It
Uh-uh.
won't show up on YouTube. It won't show up anywhere. But when we log into the podcast, you type your name in, and every week is something different. It's the man or I'm the man. Yeah, that's usually somewhere around. This week is Sprinkles. I don't know why he called himself Sprinkles. I don't know if it's just because we come out of Pride Month. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But
I miss Pride Month already.
yeah, well, hey, try having a birthday in June. It's terrible. It's ruined. Oh, your birthday is in June.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got one.
yeah. They killed our. They killed our month.
Yeah, I know it.
Hey, it's even worse. One of my buddy's kid, his birthday is Juneteenth. I'm like, hey, they just took your whole birthday and hijacked it.
At least he won't have to work on his birthday though.
You know what? Kim and them, I'm actually a little mad. They had to work.
Really?
It was not a day off for them.
It probably won't be that way long.
I'm like, do y'all do
What
realize this
was
is
the
a federal
school
holiday
open?
now? I mean, well, it's summer, so that's kind of hard to
Oh yeah,
answer.
well I guess so.
But
Yeah,
it was technically open. I mean, they're open during the summer. I mean, they are open during the summer.
yeah.
But technically, yeah, yeah, it was a required work day for what they call 12-month employees.
The place I used to work at,
Mm-hmm.
that Tommy did not bleep it out. They're off. I talked to. So I got a buddy of mine named Dennis. Um,
The menace, Mr. Wilson.
yeah, of course I got to call him. I call him Den Den. But he
Uh-huh.
comes over, and every time he comes over, like I get held up. I have to leave, and then I always get held up. And he's like, "Well, nothing." Of course, this time was no different. But anyway, we were sitting in the office talking, and he said that Hyundai gave them Juneteenth. They're off for Juneteenth now. Which,
Oh, so we're just saying it now? Like, I mean, it's
I
there.
guess so.
I mean,
Whatever.
it's there, right?
Cat's out of the bag.
I thought about you when I was coming home from the beach. As I zoomed by, I was like, there's that crap hole.
Yeah, I used to build cars for a living.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
I haven't detrimented them. I haven't said anything
No,
against them. That whatever.
I mean, it wasn't a terrible life. It just wasn't the life that you wanted. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, like they that is a legitimate place to work.
Yeah.
They expect you to come in and build cars and go home, and so like I said, I'm thankful for the time I did spend there.
Yeah.
You know,
well, you
it got
learned
me
a lot.
through-
I mean, it gave you a lot of things.
Yeah, and it got me through 3 kids. That was the best insurance you could have.
Yeah.
We're like, what, you cut your foot off? No big deal. Not going to cost me anything. You're sick, you want an eye appointment, ear appointment, whatever. Like 14 years, we didn't pay.
Hey, I was just talking to my buddy today. They just had, they had just had the daughter, $8,000
Yeah.
because he's self-insured. Eight
Yep.
grand is what he had to pay to the hospital for having her.
Yep. Now, that's what I will say that about, because factory work is factory work. It all sucks.
Yep.
Swapping shifts sucks. That's the downfall of working there. You know what I'm saying? But as far as benefits and stuff, man, they took care of you, buddy.
But it's important work. Don't. It's important work. Don't think less of yourself if you're in that position.
That's right.
You're producing for American needs.
And you're working with your hands in there, buddy. I guarantee you.
Yeah. I mean, and we need those jobs. I mean,
Yep.
I was having a long conversation with my new landlord about how I felt about college. And I was like, I mean, we were talking. I was like, I mean, I have a bachelor's degree. I was like, but I wouldn't have one if it was paid for. If it wasn't paid for, I was like, I am much more a trades proponent. Like, I am much more that we need people to produce things in our own society. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's. I mean, I was actually talking about you with him about how you want your kids to pull up a trade, to be able to have even if it's just their backup,
Yep.
and it's not what they want to majorly do, but because they're not going away.
Nope.
I mean, we need power, we need cars, we need houses, the houses need a pooper in them. Like we got to have plumbing. I mean, these are things that we got to have. I mean,
It's
we're in a
infrastructure,
modern,
man. Yep.
we're in a modern. I mean, yeah, we can go back to pooping in the fields, but nobody wants to. Nobody's willing. Nobody's willing to do that anymore. We need plumbing.
Yeah.
I mean, and dang, those guys make some good money. Yeah, you'll go through years of pure, no pun intended, crap. But man, I told a kid one time, I was like, dude, if you can do like 3 or 4 years in the HVAC world and just learn, and do good. I was like, so many people can't do it that they fall out. You don't have to do it long before you can earn a supervisory role, and you're in a management side of it pretty quickly on the good side of it, and you're not actually crawling crawl spaces and attics anymore because you've done your time. Like, just stick with it. Like, because so many people can't, because we've gotten so lazy. I mean, just the American society.
Bingo, buddy. That's it.
We don't want to work.
That's it. That's it. If people knew what was available to them as far as happiness, and peace of mind, security, and money was just floating around in society, waiting on somebody to grab it.
Yeah.
But nobody, this is why we do this podcast,
Yeah.
is, to spread it out and say, there is a vacuum in this country where, for whatever reason, there are not people to do these 100% needed jobs.
Yeah. And here's the
Right?
crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. Like because I look at it every day, and I know you do too. Like I look at Facebook groups all the time, and I see it. Hey, I just quit my job and I'm starting this. Or hey, I want to make this jump and I want to start this. So you got two things. You got people who are actually willing to quit and make the jump, and you got people who are just going to talk about making the jump for forever, right? All you have to do is out survive them, and you win.
That's it.
Not everybody. You got 10 guys who go start their own cabinet job. Fine. Don't hate on them because they started there. Don't feel jealous. Don't feel like that they're coming after your business. You focus on your own business, your own pricing, and you just keep your head down and you keep going. And you know what you'll do? You'll out survive 8 of them
Yep.
because the 8 aren't going to put in the energy to promote themselves, to find more business, to increase, to improve their craft. I mean, all you got to do is just put your head down and work in this world. My partner. So this like 2 days ago was his 10th anniversary in the country, in
Yeah.
the United States. And in 10 years, he has developed his own country. He has one, two, three. I mean,
Company.
there's like 4, huh?
You said he developed his own country. I'm just keeping the people straight that are listening.
Okay, yeah. So the people who stayed, he's
People who
cheers.
stayed.
Huh?
Now you said the people who stayed.
Yeah, the people who stayed through the
Oh,
the
okay.
duration of the podcast.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Ain't that bad. So, so, so those of you who are still listening, but I mean, in 10 years, I mean, he's got his own company, not country, company. And I mean, he's got like 4 or 5 of us essentially that are subcontracting for him. I mean, he's making really good money. He's gotten married. He's had 2 kids. He just bought just bought another house. I mean, just bought I don't want to throw your business out there, Derek, but I know you're not listening. $700,000 house. I mean, like, and is doing and that's in 10 years. And you know why? Because he's not lazy. He works
That's it.
and he drives and he drives and he drives. He makes me jealous because sometimes I catch myself not having the drive that he has.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. I mean, because I'm just at a different phase. I mean, we're almost 10 years apart, which actually drives me even crazier that I'm 10 years older than him and I'm working for him in a way. Like,
Yeah.
love him to death. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that I'm 10 years older for and I'm not where he is and he's not working for me. Like, but that's my drive. But
Yep.
that I don't let that jealousy be my jealousy. I let it actually be my drive.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what can I do to pass him? Well, like it's like a NASCAR race. Like, how do I make it where I can get past him? And I'm not going to put him in the wall to get by him because we're
That's right.
boys, and
Yep.
there's plenty of room for both of us. And that's but you can do it. Like it's just not that hard. It's really not.
When I quit the plant and I talked to that old man, and he said, if you want to make it running your own business, he said, get up and go to work. That's literally all you have to do.
Yeah.
And, every day, man, I've never forgot that one sentence that he told me,
It's true.
and I mean, you do what you want to do. We're not saying you have to go out, and learn a trade or do this or do that, whatever. If you're happy where you're at, if that fulfills you, then you're being fulfilled. That's the whole point. But if it's not, don't think that there's just no jobs and nothing out there. Buddy, let me tell you something. If you lived in central Alabama, anywhere around Montgomery, here, Wetumpka, anywhere, and you knew how to plumb a house, and all you did was new construction,
Yeah.
and you just plumbed houses, dude, your phone wouldn't quit ringing.
Yeah.
And you're talking digging in the sand, running some pipes, stubbing them up, setting toilets and stuff, and hooking stuff up when the house is built.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know it's more complicated than that, but I'm just saying
Well,
it is
and
crazy what's needed.
it's one of the talking points in our notes, and I didn't write it down as something that I wanted to talk about, but I mean we're here. I mean, but so I think a good thing to talk about is is the number of hours that you have to put into your business.
Yeah, oh yeah,
And the reason why I kind of want to bring that up is because I feel like it makes sense right here. But when I got the contract for the new shop, I was reading through it, and the landlord put in there that uh, access to the building was from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I texted him back and I said, "Man, I understand why you're saying that, and you'll see the proximity to his house." I said, "I understand why you're saying that, but I need you to understand that as an entrepreneur and a business owner, why that's impossible.
right.
I cannot have any limitations to access to my shop." And we talked about it a little bit, and he was like, "Okay, I got you. That's not a deal breaker. I understand." And in that conversation, he said, "Well, what is your longest hours?" I said, "Well, right before I left for vacation, I left at 1 and I was back at 5." I was like, "Now, don't get me wrong. This is not the norm. This is the exception to the rule.
Yeah,
But if I got a deadline, I got a deadline. It doesn't matter. There's nobody else to look to. There's nobody else to ask for help. If I got a deadline, I gotta run. I gotta run until I make the deadline, or
yeah,
I gotta go with my tail tucked between my legs and try to figure out a way to explain why I didn't make this deadline." And for me, on this instance, it was actually not the customer that I had to tuck my tail between my legs and explain it to. It was my wife and my 2 kids
yeah,
as to why I didn't make the deadline and why we're going to have to delay the trip another day. You've all lost a day of vacation because I didn't have my crap together.
yeah,
That wasn't an option. It just
yeah.
it just wasn't. You know, and you think about the number of hours that you have to put into it, and but where are those hours? It's not all hours in the shop. It's hours at the computer. It's
Mm-hmm.
hours on social media. It's hours, believe it or not, family, I know you don't like it. It's hours on YouTube sometimes of
Yeah,
research and looking, and it could be hours on the phone with Mitch, like to try to figure out a different technique or a better way, or what do I do different. Believe it or not, the podcast for me, it's work because I learn so much during this 2 hour conversation,
yeah,
whether it's learning about how I'm failing as a person, whether it's learning about a way that you're doing something that I should be doing something, or whether it's just learning a new topic in general. Like
yeah. Oh yeah,
I count it as my work hours because it's also something that I want to eventually drive into its own revenue source.
yeah,
If it does, it does. If it doesn't, I mean, I'll be a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I would like to see it drive some kind of revenue, but it's also therapeutic for me at the same time.
yeah.
But you you can't be punching a clock and own your own business.
No. And just to give you like a little run through, um, I remember 2 or 3 nights because Trey, man, if there's any way possible,
So loud.
I if there's any way possible, I cut him off 3:30. Yeah, that was loud. It was a bell ringing.
It's
But
sticking.
but I don't make it a big deal. Hey, let's work a few extra hours a day. It's not his job.
Right.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's just not. That's something for me to handle. You can't expect. I don't expect Trey to sit in here till 8 o'clock at night and sand on stuff. All right, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Me
He's
on the
not
other
getting the
hand,
same reward as you are.
that's right.
I mean, let's
Me,
just call it what it
me,
is.
me on the other hand, it was 3 or 4 nights last week. I worked till 7:30. I know one day I worked. I went home and I ate, and I came back for 2 hours
Yeah.
and worked till about 9:30. Saturday, I did a complete set of drawings on Saturday and half of another house on Saturday. Sunday, because right now, remember feast or famine. Right now,
Uh-huh.
we're feasting right
Feast.
now.
Yep.
Okay.
Get it. Get it. Get it.
So Sunday, I went and I built the 3 countertops. I got them ready for laminate. Sunday, I worked on drawings. I worked on quotes. I tidied up some admin stuff in here. I mean, I don't do that every week, but this last week was 7 days a week, probably at least 12 hours a day. We're working. And the trade off of that is I can leave Friday morning and come up there.
Right.
You know, we're telling you what it takes to do this, but we're not saying you have to do that every single day, you know. And I probably put in on average, I would say 70, 70, 80 hours a week. Probably 70 hours a week is pretty much the time I'm here.
Right.
When I go home now, I'm home. I don't deal with anything cabinet related, but probably I'm in this building probably 70 hours a week. The difference in 70 hours here and 70 hours at, job A is it's not bothering me to be here.
I reap all the benefits of being there for 70 hours.
That's right. I don't get paid,
I'm not working 70 hours for somebody else.
That's right. And I don't get paid, $20 an hour to be here for 70 hours, but we get other trade-offs.
Some of those hours you're there for free.
Yeah. Some of those hours I'm paying the place,
right?
To be here, but
and that's
that
part
was
of
funny.
it.
I took Charlie out today and, cause he came and helped me with the laminates, like probably, I don't know, he was here, 4 or 5 hours today. And dude, I'm telling you, I give Charlie a hard time, man, and I call him old school and old head, and we don't do it that way. Come on, it's 2023. But he came over, dude, and I mean was freaking dropping knowledge bombs on doing laminate.
Where do you think you would be without Charlie?
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here because he took me in and he was like, "This is how I build cabinets." But he doesn't run this business for me.
No.
He doesn't tell me what I need to be doing every day, the hours I need to be, and today, I took him out to lunch, and we were talking tipping and what stuff cost and meals and this and that. And anyway, I said, well, this person don't get tipped because they get a lot more than $2 an hour, And he said, well, why don't I get tipped? And I said, because you make more than $2 an hour in the cabinet shop. And he said, buddy, let me tell you something. There's been some hours that I was in the red. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And so, it kind of, it brings you back to that. But dude, I really don't know, honestly, where I would be. He's kind of like.
I don't mean to break it down on like a sentimental level, but I mean.
No, but part of it is I don't want to let him down.
Right.
Because he's here all the time. But then today he makes a comment like, I was like, I forget what it was. I said something. He's like, well, you're drawing these and doing this and doing this. And I said, yeah. I said, this is cash crash, baby. We don't let no grass grow around here, man. We wide open.
But so, what's crazy is that dynamic and the way that he comes by the shop and like the way he still wants to be involved in the shop in a way, it wouldn't have worked with everybody.
Right.
It'd drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I see the appreciation and I see the thank you for teaching me the way of the cabinet. But my personality would be like, I got the way of the cabinet now.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
But you and I just don't. I mean, we're just different people. I mean, we just are. And it's funny because I was telling the new guy, I was like, it's funny. I was like, because the way that I want to be with customers and the way Mitch wants to be with customers is actually a little different. I was like, it's actually the reverse of like our actual personalities. I was like, Mitch likes new construction because it's mostly the builder. Like, here's the builder, and I was like, I like post construction because I like the relationship with the customer and I like building that rapport. And I was like, I don't mean that to mean that like Mitch doesn't like the customer.
Right.
I was like, but he doesn't necessarily love the customer interaction and all that that comes with it. He likes the down and dirty of let's get this job done, let's move on. Whereas I kind of like the BS of the customer.
Mm-hmm.
But in real life, I don't like people.
Yeah.
You're way more social and like people way more than I do in actual reality. Like,
yeah,
I'm way more the a-hole in the outer world than you are. Like, it's it's kind of weird when you really think about it.
And I would strike up a conversation with a complete stranger at a restaurant.
I'm not.
But then when they walk in and I'm putting cabinets in, I'm like, what are they doing here?
Right.
I don't want to deal with you guys. Don't be.
So it's just funny
it's
that like,
weird.
so I find it fun. Now, I guess funny when I really look at my soul, funny is not the right word to use. I think that it's just God sent that Charlie found you.
Yeah.
Or you found Charlie. Because if Charlie found Travis, you wouldn't be the same. Like it just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I see where Charlie's done a ton for you, and I can see where I would appreciate what he's done, but I would feel the need to move on.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a negative way towards you or him, but like, I don't know how to put. I just don't know how to put it. Like where you have just more, I guess, more of an appreciation for what he brings to the table, whereas I kind of would say that's limited knowledge. I'm done. I'm going to bring in some new techniques now. Thanks for the basics.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
And I think because what happened was we actually pretty much became like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he comes in, but when
moved beyond a business relationship,
that's it. Exactly.
You moved into a friendship.
He is, I'm telling you right now, man, I've been in a bind before and I'm like, hey, Charlie, listen, dude, I'm out here dealing with this, at this house. I just got a call from the delivery driver. My doors are there, man. He's like, hey, I got it. Don't worry about it. He'll come over and he'll unload a, 400-pound pallet of doors or something, And the same thing, he'll call me. He'll be like, hey, we're going to be out of town. Can you take care of Sophie, while we're gone? Yep, he's fed the goats. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's not, he is no longer in the role of superseding what I'm doing in the shop.
Yeah. But my problem with my personality and what drives me nuts is that he could go in and load those pallets. You know what I'm going to say when I come back? Why the hell do you do it like this?
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts with the kids. Like, I mean, to be honest, like I'll tell them to do something, and does it really matter how they achieved what I told them to do?
Yeah.
But I'm like, why'd you do it this way? Like, this doesn't make, because it's not the way I would do it, so it doesn't make any sense. And I go, why do I care? Like,
oh yeah,
it's done. Why do I care?
I will say that is a running joke between Charlie and I. And he loves to say it. He be like, well, that ain't the way I taught you to do that. And he says it all the time. I'm like, I know. Things have changed. I don't do it. Well, that's stupid, Charlie. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? There's something, I can't remember what it was. Something happened today. And I was like, you would do all that before you just did this? Like some things that he would do is the long way around the barn, man.
Gotcha.
But he is not going to come off of that. He's like, no, that's a better way to do it. And I'm sitting over going, dude, no chance.
Yeah.
But he understands that at the end of the day, you know what he says? It's your shop. It's your business.
You might ask why, but what I assume, and just knowing you ask why with a completely different tone than I would ask why.
Yeah.
Does that mean?
Yeah. I really want to know, like, why did you, why did you do it that way?
And when I'm asking why, I'm just saying because that was stupid. Like, I really don't want to know why you did it that way. I just think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But
it's an awesome relationship, man. It really is. And like I said, I told him, I said, do you have any pointers? And he's like, dude, I tell you what, I can be there at 9:30. And he said, you're not condescending, but he was like, you're going to need me there.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just explain it to you over the phone.
Too much for words.
That's right. But he enjoyed it. I don't care what he says. He was smiling and laughing. And he goes, man, I hadn't done one of these in 25 years. And
there's something about doing the thing that you like,
That's it. And he kept bringing up about how much he did it back in the day, this is what we did. And we're going to be the same way, dude.
Yeah.
Whenever they have plastic frames or something in 30 years, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we're going to be like, well, back in our day, we had to cut wood for this. And they're going to be like, wood? What? You used to have wood on the frame? And we can't believe. I said, Charlie, what did you charge for this? He said, $40 a foot. I said, dude, I said, not only is that too low, I'm never doing this again. Like, I have no inclination to build laminate tops, But think about it. Back in the day, there were people that had laminate shops.
Oh yeah.
And that's what they did was make these tops. And I
Yeah.
told Charlie today, I was like, dude, there were people that did this on purpose for a living. And Charlie was like, yeah. And I got tired of watching them make all that money, so I started making. Now, Charlie was set up more for it, right? He had the spray guns that sprayed the glue. We're over here with a 20-cent bristle brush trying to
Yeah, I don't know
glob
what
the
that
glue
was
on.
you were putting on glue
Oh, but
contact
hey,
cement with.
hey, buddy, you need contact cement, I got you, man. I
I've
mean,
only ever seen it rolled on. I don't know what that thing
oh,
was.
it was horrible.
Yeah.
But you know, it's. I think it's healthy. Like if I was a plumber, right? The way my personality is, I would want to sit down with a dude that done it 50 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when they're under a house with a soldering iron, sweating all this copper in, you know, or melting lead. You know, all that used to be lead solder. You know, it was lead and pipes together. Not because I think that's how it should be done, but it's like, man, these guys back in the day, dude, it was amazing what they had to do.
Which is why I'm terrified for you to meet the ink lady.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd be making ink every day. What are you talking about?
I think. Yeah, oh, he's like, I got fridge full of ink samples. but yes, but it goes back. So you get in what you put out. If you don't put in, you're going to go under. You're not going to be successful.
Oh, if you think you're going to breeze through, homeboy,
I mean,
let me tell you something right now. I don't care what you're doing.
You got to have some peanut butter and jelly nights. You got to have some sleepy, crusty-eyed mornings. Like, you got to have some, I did this with the tool that is not the right tool for this, but I couldn't afford the right tool, so I had to do what I had to do.
And let me tell you something different, too. You're going to have, man, these business owners you see on Facebook, they're on vacation. They're in the boat. They're at the beach. They're on the lake. They're going fishing. They're going to, you know, races, and they're going to this and they're going to that. They're not going to put their bad days on there.
No.
Don't you think just because somebody has a successful business that there's not days that they're just like, what in the world am I doing, man?
Well,
like,
and don't forget to look at how long did it take them to get there.
Exactly. But even now,
is this a 2-year-old business? Is this a 10-year-old business?
Right. And what are their hours? You know, what do they put in? What are the sacrifices that they've made?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just one of those things where we're not sitting here saying every day is just going to be a cakewalk, because, buddy, it's not. Especially when you start, it's going to be. These people ain't handing stuff out. You have to earn your keep, I think, is a really good way of.
I don't know what I would do if it was a cakewalk, to be honest with you, because this is no lie. So we got home Friday night, right? So Friday, after driving and all that stuff, I was a little tired. Saturday, I almost went to the shop and I was like, nope, I'm going to ride it out. I'm going to ride out the last few days, you know. And so Saturday, pretty much just vegged here at the house, watching TV, didn't do a lot. Go to bed about 9 o'clock. About 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm still laying there watching TV. I'm going, I didn't do enough today. I'm not tired.
Yep.
Sunday comes. Pretty much did the same thing. Kind of just hung out, watched TV, didn't do a whole lot. 1 o'clock's rolling around last night, and I'm like, crap, I didn't do enough for 2 days now. My body is wanting it. My body is desiring work. Like it was weird. And I was like, I cannot go to sleep. Now tonight, I'm going to sleep. I promise you. I had an install today. I've sat up here. It's 9 o'clock at night. We're doing the podcast. I've had a good old glass of whiskey. Like, I'm going to sleep tonight. But I don't know what I would do with an easy day. Like, I don't. And that doesn't mean that I want every day to be a struggle where I'm ready to bash things in with a hammer, because those days happen. I show you a couple things I've torn up. I ain't ashamed of it. Not proud of it, but I don't hide from them. But without those, you don't appreciate the smooth days either. Like,
you're right.
If every day was just so smooth, eventually you would go. Eventually, your smooth day would say was hard. I feel like you would say, "Oh, this was a rough day," you know. Whereas I thought today was a little rough, like just kind of getting over being back from vacation, doing an install that wasn't my build, working with a shoulder that's kind of jacked up, and then I got home and I walked in and my wife walks in. I'm like, what's wrong with you? She goes, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, and then, then she tells me what happened in her office. I was like, I had a pretty easy day, you know?
Yeah, it
I
wasn't that
mean,
bad.
it wasn't that bad, I mean, but you gotta have the bad day to realize that you had a good day.
Yeah,
And it's hard to embrace the bad day. It really is. I
it's
get that because
it's a
I am.
mental it's a mental thing.
Oh yeah,
We're not looking you and I, and I'm assuming plenty other people. We don't wake up in the morning and we just look at today.
yeah,
You know, like we're thinking months and years into the future.
yeah.
Like what where am I? And I ask my kids, where do you see us in 5 years? What do you think is going to be there? Yeah, I want to know what their goals and
According to Tommy, in
aspirations
five
are.
years, he says gone.
Yeah, but it's a different mindset, and some of that you develop right. When I came from corporate world,
Yeah,
where I'm working for this huge $1 billion corporation, global corporation, right?
you're just a
And
speck of dust on the map too.
that's it, man. And then all of a sudden I'm in here, and it's like you're looking around for somebody else, and buddy, it's just you.
Yeah,
It's you and the hum of the table saw, man. And your mentality has to change. You can't take your mentality from your 9 to 5
yeah,
and apply that mentality to doing anything for yourself, regardless of what it is.
true.
It's a completely, and it takes time for your brain to slowly learn about kind of a new way to think, and a new way
Yeah,
to be a visionary, and a new way to look at what's coming up, and a new way to schedule your time, and a new way to deal with this, deal with that.
and you
So
got to look
but
forward. You always got to look down the road. You know,
always, it's just like when
which
you're driving, man, don't look right in front of the hood.
outdrive your headlights.
That's right. You're looking way as far as you can see down the road. You're looking
Yeah,
and maintaining what's going on right around you.
which drives my wife nuts because I can have 5 jobs lined up, and I'm worried about the sixth job. She's like, "You've got jobs." I was like, "I'm worried about the one I don't have."
Yeah.
Like, yep, you're right.
Yeah.
I got those. I'm worried about the one I don't have
Yep.
because as soon as I finish those, we got to have another, and we got to have another. I mean, and it's not being a negative Nancy. I mean, I think everybody anybody who's listened through 22 episodes of podcast, 22 man, 22 episodes of podcast, realize I don't crap rainbows and unicorns when I wake up in the morning. I'm not the most optimistic person all the time. I mean, um, but I do think I'm pretty realist, as to where we're at, and like going through this move, she's like, you gotta slow down. You're stressing way too far out. I'm like, well, we operate on cash. We only
Yeah.
have so much cash to operate with. So like, I'm stressing. I mean, it's an extra cash outlay that we don't necessarily have to make. Now, do I think it's going to benefit us to make it? I really, really do. But do I think that the $1,200 deposit on the old building that I thought we were going to get back, but I didn't give enough notice that we're not going to get back now?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, and that's my mistake. I didn't read the contract very well. I completely missed it. It's already paid money though, so it's not like. But I thought that we were going to get it back, and then the what grand probably I'll drop in electrical and downtime, not to mention the downtime to get back up. That all hurts,
Yeah.
not to mention the down payments on, and security deposits on the new place, that you got to do. And she's like, you're just overly stressing. I'm like, but we only, there's no left, there's no right.
Yeah.
This is the only pocket we got to pull from.
Yep.
So you got to make sure that you're lined up, and you got to make sure you're doing the right thing. And then but it's also the balance of having somebody to go, but you got jobs coming in. You're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go, you can't do the full automated blast gate system that you want. You can set up for it, but you can't do it right now. Got you.
Yep.
But get through the next 4 jobs, buy your blast gate system a little bit at a time as you move through the next 4 jobs. You get to your 5th job and you're where you wanted to be today, but you're not in the hole to do it. And it's
Yeah.
like, yep, you're right.
And that's like
You're
us
right.
building a house. There's a couple of things that we want to do that's outside of the budget,
Yeah.
that we've wanted to do from the start. And we were like, okay, we still want this to happen, all right, well, we'll take $300 off this job and $300 we made off this job, you know. But that's basic, money man. But the way your brain works is your brain has to have security,
Yeah.
in this thing, and it's still a gamble. Yeah, it's a nice shop, looks good, looks nice, and mathematically on paper everything should be fine. But anytime you make a big change like that, it's a gamble. Now
Yeah.
we know enough about ourselves, right, that we can sort of predict how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in a new spot, a cleaner spot, a better spot with better this and better that and better. I'm going to knowing me, I'm going to be a little bit more productive. I may get your payoff in the beginning might be a little bit more time at home.
Right.
Right? It may be a better system at work that makes it easier on you, whatever the payoff is. But eventually, you're going to get to where you're going to be like, I got nervous in 2020 when I saw everything go up, and I talked to them,
Yeah.
and the builders were scared. They were like, Mitch, this ain't
And that ain't reassuring.
right. It ain't looking good. And I'm like, what do you mean, dude? You're my
You're my bread and butter.
you're my peas and carrots, baby. What are y'all talking about? And they're like, listen, we're going to do everything we can to keep this train going. And, dude, we didn't skip a beat. But I got a little nervous. And I was like, okay, here's our damage protocols. Here's our emergency protocols. Have we prepared? Am I prepared to clean toilets to pay the bills?
Yeah.
Am I prepared to go cut grass or wash cars or do whatever, mundane job there is? And I was, dude, my kids and my wife, they will have a meal every day. I promise you. I promised Tammy's daddy, I said, I can't guarantee you that we'll be millionaires. I said, but I'm going to take care of your daughter. She's going to be warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and she's going to have plenty to eat.
Yeah.
And he said, fair enough,
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to wrap up on, but I think we get so overly focused on having more
Right.
that we forget to have enough.
Yep.
And enjoy having enough. And that doesn't mean that you can't strive for more, but it means that you gotta reach the point where you're satisfied with enough, and that it's not this like envy thing that is feeding you. It's just a desire to do. It's just a desire to do better. And I may that may be a piss poor definition of trying to achieve more, but having satisfaction. Like,
Yeah.
It's probably bad, but
Well, it's different for different people.
Right.
My satisfaction may not be even your satisfaction. Your satisfaction may not be the next guy's satisfaction. And it just you'll eventually form and mold your business to your personality and what you think you need.
And it's like, but
be.
it's like our household. Like Kim is perfectly satisfied with the house that we have, the amount of money that we come in, and the things that we're able to do. But for me, I want to be able to do more than those things. And
Right.
but it's not like I'm unsatisfied with life.
That's right. Yep. I get what
what
you're
can
saying.
I do better? Like,
Yeah.
because also as a parent, like for me, it's like every step that I do better, I raise the expectation bar for what I want my kids to do to beat me when they leave. I think I've said it before on the podcast. I've told the kids, if I knock down $200,000 a year, I want to see you knock down 300,000 when you're doing your thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to win this game. I want you to beat my socks off, at the game of life. You know what I mean? So it's just like, well, if I can raise the bar a little bit further, if I can make them have to push, and that's one of the reasons why I got my degree. Like, I didn't really need it, but I was like, well, if I get my degree, then I can say you need to do it. If that's the career path you're going down and that's what you want, you need to do it. But, and I did it. Took 15 years, but did it. So that means you can definitely do it. Because, if I can. So it's just one of those things. You just want to. And we all have our internal motivations. But it all comes down to the hours that you put into whatever it is. Whether it's underwater basket weaving, whether it's your own business, if you don't put time into it, you're not gonna be good at it. I mean, very few people are just naturally gifted at pick a topic.
Yeah,
you know, and because those people who are naturally gifted at the topic, there's people who are working at that topic that are better because
yep,
they're working at it.
yep,
Now they've had to do more work to be better, but they're probably going to beat you because they're actually working to beat you.
yeah. And I
Hmm.
wouldn't look at it as only you have to be a business owner, you know, to
No,
deal with this. It could be whatever you're doing. So don't hear us saying unless you're a business owner, this doesn't apply to
no,
you,
no.
dude.
You could be the
I
best
did that.
manager, like
Yeah,
whatever it takes to be the best manager of a department or
at
whatever.
Hyundai, my daddy told me, he said, all I want from you kids from your job is I want your job to get nervous when you call in,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so when I went to Hyundai, I went to the manager and I was like, what can I do where I'm an asset? And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, we need somebody to do this and we need somebody to do that, somebody that can learn this and take care of this. And I said, sign me up, buddy.
yeah.
He said, okay. And, I spent 2 months learning every process in the building I was in. And I got to go to Korea twice, but I wasn't working for myself. I was working for a huge corporation. But I needed it internally. I
Right.
needed it. I needed to be the one that they go, hey, pull that car off for Mitch. Let him go over it before the VIP. We used to have the VIP come in, which is the owner,
Yeah.
Chairman Chung, the owner of Hyundai. Dude, it's owned by one dude.
Is it really?
Yeah, all of it is owned by one dude. And he goes all over the world and spends time in all these plants. And they said, okay, this is a chairman car. They pull it off to the side and then have a big old note and it says, hold for Mitch. And I would come in, and there's other people that could do it. Don't hear me say I'm the only one to do it.
Yeah.
But they would
But you were
hold
on
it.
the list.
I was on the list. And then when I came in, my manager would be like, hey, go take care of the chairman's car. And I'd go over that sucker on the seal and all this stuff, make sure it was perfect, I was happy with that.
Right.
I was happy, having that role at that company. And they were like, hey, we're going to send you to Korea. Make sure we have the tooling here to build this car. And I was like, what? They're like, well, yeah, all the tools we have on the seal line, go over there and make sure that we don't need to modify a tool or something to build this car here. And I was like, that's my job. You guys are sending me. They're like, yeah, you know. So
That's crazy.
it was one of those things where that's where my fulfillment came from. I didn't get fulfilled by just putting seal on cars every day,
Yeah.
you know. Like I was like, hey, put me in, coach. Put me in. Put me in. And that mentality, it'll do you a lot of good in life.
I
That's my
agree.
motivational talk for the day, and I'm done with it.
Well, yeah, I think I don't know that we could find a better place to wrap it up. We're a little long winded, or we're average winded, whatever.
Yeah, average window.
But no, I want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for being here. I feel like if you're in at this point, 22 episodes later, 2.5 hours into 22 episodes, that you're kind of believing and kind of buying into what we're saying. So I'm going to ask you to like, comment, share, the podcast to somebody. Drop us a line offcuts at styleboys.com. Give us a little something. Hopefully by now that you've heard this, there are like 2 people out there that I owe hats to. Hopefully you'll have those because I forgot, and I'll ship those
Uh-oh.
out to you guys. Yeah. And we're gonna do. I think we can talk about it when you're up here. I think we need to do a couple of admin things as far as like merch and hats and things. We'll look at that. But we just want you to inspire you, whether it's you think that we're completely wrong or whether you think we're completely right, or if you think there's somewhere in the middle of what we're saying that you think you should fall into. We're good with any of those 3 options, as long as we're inspiring you to go after something. Whether and like Mitch said, it doesn't have to be after being your own business owner. If we can inspire you to be the best employee, be the best manager that you could possibly be. Look at yourself, find what makes you happy. That's that. Mitch has said it before. The dash. the dash on that tombstone says
ain't
way,
lying.
way, way more than we give it credit for.
I know somebody right now, this very second, is at the end of their dash.
Yeah.
And they're having to do a lot of self-reflecting, man. And
Yeah.
having to go back over the last 80 years and say, you know, and
Wish.
nobody's going to get it perfect. You're going to have regrets when you get to the end of the dash. But,
Yeah.
you know, like Travis is saying, you know, just fulfill it.
Yeah.
Fulfill it.
Just do what makes you happy, because happiness is what it's all about. I mean, that's how God designed this world for us to live in, to be happy, and to live in His image, and he was a happy person. He lived a happy life, until, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, but He gave us this opportunity to have free will, to do the right thing, and to do the things that we want to do, and do them. You know, I mean, there shouldn't be anything to hold you back. There really shouldn't. Just go after those things, you know, and pursue them, and fail. Don't be afraid to fail. I would rather fail 15 times than I would to die with regret of trying. I really would. I mean, and anybody who really wholeheartedly knows me, look, in a matter of 24 hours, we sold everything that we owned, packed up, through what little bit we wanted to keep, and we were on our way back to Washington State to try it one more time, because we thought that's what we wanted to do. And it didn't work out. And I don't regret it whatsoever, because now we know. We know that it didn't work. We gave it a shot and tried it. And so, I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I have screwed up a ton of stuff, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. But regret is just one of those words that I just refuse to use, because even if it didn't work, it still put me to a point where I am today, and I like where I'm at today.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
I mean, I'm
worked
happy.
out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. But so, departing words?
Wish me safe travels.
Safe travels. Straight up I-65. I don't know how you can screw this up.
Come back with all 10. And 4th of July's over with, and we brought them all back, so nobody did anything
Terry
stupid.
got to ride on a float?
I did see Terry on a float.
Terry was on a float. Oh, that was crack me up.
Well,
yeah, everybody survived. I did say a meme that said it was the weekend for us. Some poor sap doesn't know that this is his last weekend with all 10 fingers.
Yeah. Yep.
But don't let that be you in the wood shop. That's for sure. Be safe.
The word of the week this week is dirt bike.
Dirt bike. I'd rather dirt bag, but dirt bike will work.
Y'all pull together, get my boy a dirt bike.
Yeah,
he's so
dirt
bored.
bag stole the dirt bike. You know? Sucker. But yeah, well, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm super stoked. Kim is super stoked to have you in town. I know that. I mean, you guys haven't seen each other in person, God only knows how long. So that'll be fun. We'll get some good food. We'll get, have a good time. We'll do some work in between, but it's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. Yep. And I'm going to put a big sprinkle sticker on the back of your truck while you're in town. So.
Speaking of stickers, remind me to bring you some.
Oh, all right, bring me some stickers.
Yeah, remind me. I'm going to need that Thursday afternoon.
All right.
Or Friday morning.
Kim, remind me to tell Mitch to remind me. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We really, 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 really appreciate you all being here and making this thing happen for us. Thanks all.
Y'all pray for me. I gotta go spend the weekend with Travis. Y'all be thinking, you just think about me while I'm up there.
I'm gonna buy you a hat while you're here.
All right.
All right. See you, buddy.
See you,
guys. Bye.